Well. So it's Monday, and of course, nobody's going to go a day without talking about the Dallas Cowboys as this season is marching along, and it's coming along faster and faster. But I'm noticing something, as I told y'all last week. This hype train for the Dallas Cowboys, it's not going to stop. For as much as some people inside of the Cowboys, quote-unquote media, criticize the Dallas Cowboys for not getting Myles Garrett, well, there are other people on the outside of the Cowboys, and you would think the Cowboys have made moves bigger than Myles Garrett, and I say the Cowboys have made Super Bowl moves, contrary to what some people say, and the expectations for the Dallas Cowboys, they are sky high, and every time you hear somebody talk about the Cowboys, they are mentioning, dare I say, the Super Bowl? Let's talk, Cowboys. We about to talk facts. What did I tell y'all? It's amazing to me. I was the first one I heard say the Cowboys are moving different, and now people are starting to catch up and say the Cowboys are moving different. I also said when the Cowboys hired Brian Schottenheimer a couple of years ago, do y'all remember what I said? The Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl in 2026, no later than 2027. And I said I don't know exactly what moves they're going to make, but the way they hired Brian Schottenheimer and the way they were talking, I said they are going to win the Super Bowl in 2026 and 2027. And isn't it strange? All of a sudden, you're hearing other people finally start to say these things. Y'all gonna call me a prophet before it's over. I told you. I told y'all the Cowboys were moving different. And everybody just now starting to come around. I've been here. This ain't new to me. I've been here. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. And I have not changed my position on this once. This team is moving, not moved. They're moving different. They are doing, not done, doing the things that is required to win a Super Bowl. And I'm here for it. These expectations are sky high for the Dallas Cowboys. And today we're going to talk about, are those expectations too high? Will the Cowboys meet or will they exceed these expectations? Man, I'm going to tell you, we're going to talk about it on today's show. And I am not going to disappoint. I got a great show for today. Absolutely great show for today. Here are our topics for today. The expectations. You can just hear them keep coming out of ESPN. They are sky high. We're going to also listen to a clip I found on CBS. Expectations, sky high. Then we're going to go to Chase Daniels. Chase Daniels is going to talk about his top 10 quarterbacks. So he's going to add a little bit more to that. Then I found a clip on CeeDee Lamb that I missed from last week. CeeDee Lamb is going to talk about how he manipulates defensive backs. And it's actually a conversation with him, Tyreek Hill, and I forget the other wide receiver's name. Then, man, I saw somebody on X hating on Mark Holmes. Hating on Mark Holmes. And used the Green Bay interception that Dak Prescott threw in the 2023 playoff game to talk about Mark Holmes. The nerve of him talking about Mark Holmes. Stop it. Put some respect on that man's name. And nevertheless, we're going to go back and give some context to the Dak Prescott interception against the Green Bay Packers. And again, Ryan Clark, sky high expectations for the Dallas Cowboys. Sky high expectations. He's going to talk about the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. And then, breaking news. Has Ryan Clark been let go by ESPN? We're going to talk about all of that and more next on Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Let's go! It's a great Monday to talk Dallas Cowboys. Hold on a second. All right. Let's get this roll call in on Monday so we can get this show started. Dolores Ennis. What is going on, Dolores? Yeah, Dak not playing with this team this year. Dolores said, that's my quarterback. Yeah, it's my quarterback too. In the words of Terrell Owens, Jabril Quinn, what is up? Jeremy, what up, Jeremy Betts? Good to see you. The Queen, what's going on, Queen? She said the Cowboys are laser focused this year, going for that bowl. I'm telling you, Queen, I've been here. I believe this team became laser focused the moment they fired Mike McCarthy, the moment they hired Brian Schottenheimer. We saw it when they traded Michael Parsons, and when they let go of Trayvon Diggs. I'm telling us this team has been showing us the change, and I love it. Thomas Goldring, what's up, Thomas Goldring Jr.? Good to see you. Big Mouse Dog, what's going on? Man, if you ain't trying to win the Super Bowl, then I don't want you on my team. That's what Michael Irvin said. Michael Irvin said, if you ain't trying to win, I don't need you as my friend. What up, Tony Neesbo? Ronnie Dub, what up, Ronnie Dub? Kaylin, what up, Kaylin? Kaylin said, hold on a second. Kaylin said, I think I got this over here. There it is, Kaylin. How about them Cowboys? What up, Poobie D? 5 points of the star. What's going on? Yeah, Dak has that look in his eye of the tiger, don't he? Timothy Johnson, what's going on? 72 Chevelle. Chanel, what up? Neighborhood statistician, what is going on with you? Good to see you. All right. We them boys, what up? Lynn from the 903. Bazit 9, what's going on? What up, Gabe Robinson? Carl Williams. Gregory Hicks, what it do? What's up, Christopher Prather? What is going on? Rico Jones in the building. Ball Daddy, what up? The Real Deal, what is going on? Good to see you. What's going on, Young Merc? Gregory Davis, what is up? Frank Lawrence, my man. What up, Frank Lawrence? Good to see you. Anthony Jefferson, what is going on? Good to see you. Yeah. Stephen White, what up, Stephen White? El Truco in the building. What up, Freddie Morales? My sister, Niecy. I'm back from the birthday celebration. What up, Niecy? Niecy, you've been doing your thing. Appreciate you being here today. Happy birthday. What is it? Your 21st birthday? What's going on? 411 Shirley. What's going on? Good to see you. All right. Let's get this show started. Best chat on YouTube. What is going on again? Man, our show is packed today. I'm going to show you some of the best clips of the day and things people are talking about as it pertains to the Dallas Cowboys. And first, we're going to go over to ESPN. And ESPN is going to talk to us about the Dallas Cowboys and their expectations.
Here we go.
Let's mosey on over here to the ESPN prediction. And they had a lot to say about the Dallas Cowboys today. All right, this is NFL Camp Countdown. They were talking about the Cowboys and many other things over there today. Let's check it out.
Starting to report later this week, so let's hear what our crew is fired up for as the season approaches. Kyle, I will give you first crack. What are you most looking forward to as we start?
Here we go. Year 2, Caleb Williams. Can this be the year he goes from a really fun young player into a great quarterback? One of the things we talk about in Good Morning Football is that in year 2 for Caleb, it kind of felt like he won the dunk contest, which is great. But is he young Jordan? Is he Blake Griffin? Is he Zach LaVine? We love the dunks. Wow. This year we got to have him knock down his free throws, and Ben Johnson's in charge of that. I'm fired up.
Zach LaVine. I like the analogy.
I'm really ready to see what Williams is myself. I really am ready to see what Caleb Williams is. I mean, you make the Madden cover. I mean, man, I'm telling you, I know there are some people who have survived the Madden curse. But there's a lot of people who haven't survived the Madden curse. Hey, man. I don't want Dak Prescott to get that John Madden I don't want Dak to get that John Madden cover until after the Super Bowl. I don't want him to get it until after the Super Bowl. Because, man, I am telling you, I do not like when people get that Madden cover, and especially when they get it too early. Caleb Williams, okay, we're going to see.
I don't know.
I like it. No, but I do think that is the question. Now, Dominic, you've heard me say it. I think if there's a young quarterback coach combination that you're looking for right now, that you're going to bet your money on could become the next Reed and Mahomes, I'm not sure why you wouldn't start there.
Yeah, these guys together are great. If the defense improves
What up, Fred
and is
Bill?
no longer as dependent on turnovers, this team will be awesome. The crazy thing about Caleb is you would think with the big splash plays that the drawback would be that it would be like crazy turnovers. That's not the problem. He does these big splash plays, and then he can't convert a 3rd and 6 to an open man. Those are the things that he struggles with, and those are the things that you would think.
He does the big plays well. Problem is he don't do the little plays well.
Pretty easy to recover from, so I would guess he's going to be a lot better this year.
Well, year 2 in the system. Like, now you're starting to master. You're not learning a new terminology and all of those things that go into year 1. So now Ben Johnson's like, well, remember last year when we had this? Well, let's go back to that. Now you have that built-in time on task. He's definitely going to take another step.
Shefty, what are you hearing out of Chicago?
Listen, wasn't it Dan Orlovsky last year said it's going to be a big adjustment? Didn't look like much of an adjustment last year for Caleb Williams, right?
But it was a good step. I mean,
all right, let's go. Let's talk Cowboys. I got you.
It was going to take a little while for him to use your term, master the offense.
But this year they should be that.
What are you excited about as we get set for training?
Oh, I can't wait for the Cowboys hype. It's that time of year, y'all. We get excited about the Cowboys. Look at that O-line. All those Tylers protecting Dak, and they have 2 incredible receivers. Obviously, the rushing game is good. There's no reason to be concerned about this offense at all. This offense has a chance to be the best in all of football because of their talent and their experience and coming back again with the same head coach. But the defense is where the question marks are.
Yeah,
they had Quentin Williams last year. They had Rashawn Gary too. They brought in a new defensive coordinator. The question is, can this defense get to like mediocre or better? Because last year, they were the worst. Actually, literally, the worst defense in football. Yeah, get to 16, we got a chance.
There are no questions. Ask Cowboys fan. Christian Parker, the new defensive coordinator. They drafted Caleb Downs. They've answered all your questions. It's a brand new defense. The Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. Nick,
of course.
Where have you been?
Super Bowl!
They are back. The star. Jerry, we're loving it.
Well, you bring up Christian Parker as a defensive coordinator, and they get back a healthy DeMarion Overshawn at linebacker. And don't sleep on the safety that they signed, Jalen Thompson.
My favorite pickup.
They really like as well. So there are a lot of defensive reinforcements. The defense was playing better at the end of the last year, which isn't saying all that much, but they were better. And I think.
Yeah. And again, man, I'm going to tell you, and I'll show you again today as we continue in this Cowboys conversation. People, again, I always say that people don't understand the biblical definition of faith and hope. It's the evidence of things not seen, meaning that there is something in place that proves that that proves what you are looking forward to actually exists. And so or not only exist or can happen. And so when you think about everything the Cowboys are doing, And see, some people think that the expectations that some people have for the Cowboys it's empty, but it's not empty. And what makes it not empty is when you look at what they're doing. And that's why I keep emphasizing what they're doing. A lot of people want to settle on what they've done. It's not what they've done. It's what they're doing. And so they are showing Cowboys Nation. They are showing the sports world in general. We're serious about winning a Super Bowl finally. We're not just putting everything on Dak Prescott. No, now we're going to put some things around Dak Prescott, dare I say, like other teams do when they want to win Super Bowls. Yeah, they put things around the quarterback. They don't want the quarterback to drag them to the Super Bowl. This is why right now, the Buffalo Bills, until they change, they're not going to the Super Bowl. The Buffalo Bills want Josh Allen to power them to a Super Bowl. They want Josh Allen to power them to a Super Bowl. They want him to throw it. They want him to run it. They want him diving over the top. They want him running over cornerbacks and linebackers. They're never going to win like that. The Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson, most talented quarterback in the league. The Baltimore Ravens will never win a Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson as long as they keep trying to let Lamar Jackson run them to the Super Bowl. It's not going to happen. Joe Burrow, for as talented as he is, he's not taking the Cincinnati Bengals to another Super Bowl if they want Joe Burrow to throw them to the Super Bowl. But watch this. Nobody realized something about Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford didn't take the Rams to the Super Bowl. For as much as people keep talking about Matthew Stafford did not take the Rams to the Super Bowl. Sean McVay built a team around Matthew Stafford, and that team went to the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford didn't take the Rams to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl is not a quarterback stat. Everybody makes it into a quarterback stat. It's not. Matthew Stafford did not take the Rams to the Super Bowl. They had a team that went to the Super Bowl. And even when you think about the Seattle Seahawks, Sam Darnold didn't take them to the Super Bowl. That team went to the Super Bowl. And the problem has been with the Dallas Cowboys is that Jerry Jones wanted Dak Prescott to do something, dare I say, Roger Staubach didn't have to do, Troy Aikman didn't have to do, and many quarterbacks who win Super Bowls don't have to do. They don't have to play outside of themselves. They don't take those teams to the Super Bowl. They don't have to elevate the team to a whole nother level. No, the team is at a level that exceeds everyone else. And those teams win the Super Bowl. Quarterbacks are not winning Super Bowls by themselves. They're not doing it. And in actuality, when you look at the Super Bowls, when you look at these teams winning Super Bowls, go back and look at those quarterback stats. Go back and look at those quarterback stats of quarterbacks that win Super Bowls. It'll blow your mind. They don't put up mind-blowing statistics. They typically don't. They don't put up mind-blowing statistics. Why? Because they're on a team that can stop the run, pressure the quarterback, create turnovers. They're on a team that can run the ball. They're on a team to where they only have to throw maybe 25 times in that game, somewhere between 25 and 30. They're not putting up mind-blowing stats. No. Their team is what wins Super Bowls. And the problem that Jerry Jones has had is that Jerry Jones, and he won't admit this to anybody out loud, But Jerry Jones, for years, has put way too much on Dak Prescott. Somebody got to say it, and I'm going to be the one to say it. Jerry Jones put way too much on Dak Prescott. And dare I say, I think he might have put a little too much on Tony Romo, too. Tony Romo and Dak Prescott. This is no knock on Troy Aikman. Tony Romo and Dak Prescott were asked to do more with lesser teams. Both of them. They were asked to do more with lesser teams. Tony Romo never played on a team that was as good as the team that Troy Aikman played on. Dak Prescott has not been on a team that has been as good as the team that Troy Aikman played on. They have been asking Dak Prescott to do something that the Super Bowl quarterbacks here were never asked to do. And this is why when you look at the Troy Aikman and Jalen Hurts discussion that they were having the other week, talking about Jalen Hurts is better than Troy Aikman. Okay, first of all, get off of drugs. But there is something to say both about Troy Aikman and Jalen Hurts. When you look at Troy Aikman, you will find something out when you look at Troy Aikman's stats, especially in those Super Bowl years. Troy Aikman's stats, they show you that Troy Aikman actually played on a good team. The stats aren't saying that Troy Aikman wasn't good. That's not what those stats are showing. No, what those stats are showing is that he played on a really good team. When you play on a really good team, you're not going to put up phenomenal numbers. You're not going to do it. You're not putting up phenomenal numbers on a great team. You're going to put up some good numbers on a great team, but you're not going to put up phenomenal numbers. Why? Because there's no need to. You don't need to. You don't have to put up phenomenal numbers on a phenomenal team. You only have to put up phenomenal numbers when you're on a team that's not as good as the team that you're playing. And you will notice that even some of those quarterbacks, when they put up phenomenal numbers against a great team, guess what winds up happening? They put up phenomenal numbers and they lose. Yeah, that's what happens. Go look at Jalen Hurts, and I'll show it to you as proof. Go look at Jalen Hurts' stats in the Super Bowl that he lost versus the Super Bowl that he won. In the Super Bowl that he lost, Jalen Hurts put that team on his back, and they lost. When you go to the Super Bowl that he won, you could almost say they put Jalen Hurts on their back. And all Jalen Hurts had to do was just eat. They served the plate up for him. All he had to do was eat. Bottom line. Jared Taylor. Yeah, Jared Jones. Jared Jones. And Terry Taylor, let's think about Jared. Why did Jared Jones do this to Dak Prescott? I can tell you, and I'm not going to let Jared off the hook. When Jared Jones saw Dak Prescott in 2016, and he took the place of Tony Romo, Jerry Jones might have put in his head like, hey, man, look at what this dude did with Ezekiel Elliott. Maybe he's all that we need to go to the Super Bowl. No, Jerry, it don't work like that. No. You should have loaded up around Dak Prescott back in 2016. You should have loaded up in 2017. But again, when you look at these players they have on the screen, Rashawn Gary, Jalen Thompson, Kobe Durant, Caleb Downs, Malachi Lawrence, the biggest thing we're watching this year is that they're putting players around Dak Prescott. I don't even understand the logic, because for me, If I'm going to pay a quarterback $60 million, oh, you better believe I'm about to put teams around him. Oh, you better believe I'm about to put a team around a player. A quarterback up playing $60 million? Nah, bro. He got to win a Super Bowl for me. I'm sorry. He got to win a Super Bowl for me. Shoot. I'm doing everything I can do for that quarterback to win. Neeson said, Gee, that's a good show to do. Quarterbacks and their stats with a good team versus a quarterback with an okay team. Yep. I'm going to put it on the list. We'll do it before training camp. I try to do it before training camp. I'm telling us. Gregory Davis, you just made a great point. Look at Brady's stats against the Eagles. Brady passed for 501 yards and lost to the Eagles. And Gregory Davis, it's crazy. You can go look at some of Brady's Super Bowls. Brady played in a couple of Super Bowls. People call them defensive games. Man, they can call them anything they want to. Man, I would have rather watched paint dry than that Rams Super Bowl, than that Patriots Super Bowl against the Rams. Man, I would have rather went and painted the wall and watched that thing dry. When you're on good teams and great teams, your quarterback just not putting up phenomenal numbers. Not because they're not great, because they really don't need to. And that's why when you look at the greatest quarterbacks who never won Super Bowls, go look at their numbers. They all put up phenomenal numbers. They just won't win. Just won't win. Lockman, I appreciate your comment. I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you. I don't care what kind of instinct you have. You can have killer instinct. You can have red rum instinct. You can have any kind of instinct you want to, Lockman. But if your team is trash and you're playing against a better team, you can have anything you want to. But you ain't killing nobody, bro. Stop it. You ain't killing nobody. You ain't killing nobody, man. If you are going to win Super Bowls, you need to be on a team full of assassins. Bottom line. Talk to me about no quarterback not having killer instinct. No, man. You got to be on a team full of assassins. Did John Elway have killer instinct? I just wondered, did John Elway have killer instinct? It took John Elway 15 years to win a Super Bowl. Did he have killer instinct? Some of these things that we use against players, they're just so flawed we don't even realize it. Did Trent Dilfer have a killer instinct? He doesn't have I don't know if he had a killer instinct or not, but I can tell you that Ray Lewis and that defense, those were the real killers. Yeah. Yeah, those were the real killers. Yeah, when Trent Dilfer won the Super Bowl.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, them were the real killers. Ask Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl that he won. Ask him who was the real killer in that. Ask him who was the real killer in that Super Bowl. Ask him who the real killer was. Ask Jalen Hurts. Because if Jalen Hurts tell the truth, he gonna tell you straight up, he was not the killer in that Super Bowl.
You can't handle the truth.
Stop it. Stop it. I don't care what kind of, you tell me anything you want to. You can have any kind of killer instinct you want to. But if you on a trash team, you ain't winning. It is mythological. It is mythological when people say, lift up teams. You ain't carrying no team. Stop it. Texas, the paper says Jalen Hurts was the MVP. But the film tape shows, the game tape shows, the defense was the MVP, and that's why Sweat was saying it. Stop it. Absolutely stop it. Just pure nonsense. Texas, you can't win an argument here. Jaden Daniels went to an NFC championship in his first year as a rookie because of the matchup that he had. But let's not forget, Dak Prescott could have did the same thing had he not went up against future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers. Stop it. You're not winning an argument over here, sir. Appreciate your comments, but you're not winning one argument over. You're not winning one argument over here with those old trite arguments. You're not winning one. Dak Prescott, and let's go even further. Dak Prescott hasn't even played on a team that was as good as the team that Jalen Hurts won the Super Bowl with.
You can't handle the truth.
All day long. Dak Prescott ain't never played on a team that good. Dak Prescott has never played on a team as good as the Super Bowl team that Jalen Hurts played on. We could go line by line and player by player. You will not come, I guarantee you, when you look at every single unit, people are going to look back on that Super Bowl that Jalen Hurts won, and people are already doing it. It was an absolute super team. And the quarterback, and a lot of people are already saying it, and the quarterback wasn't super. Bottom line. That's why Philly is looking at moving on from Jalen Hurts. Why? Because Jalen Hurts was on a super team. And they're realizing something. Jalen Hurts is really not that great of a quarterback. Bottom line, we're going to have this same conversation in a couple of years when they move on from Jalen Hurts. But again, the reason why people are saying what they're saying, and notice, listen to what they're saying in these conversations. Have y'all noticed two things this year that the media is finally starting to admit? The media is finally starting to admit two things. One, Dak Prescott is a top 5 quarterback. Everybody's starting to acknowledge this. Number 2, the teams around Dak Prescott have not been good enough. You know how I know this? When I listened to this conversation they had today, I didn't hear them say Dak Prescott. I heard them talking about what sounds like to me like a Super Bowl team. They didn't emphasize Dak Prescott. They emphasized how great the offense was.
You can't handle the truth.
Then they started emphasizing what the Cowboys have done on defense.
You can't handle the truth.
Do you know what that sounds like? They're saying these things because they're saying Jura Jones is finally starting to put a team around Dak Prescott. That's why they're saying these things. Bottom line. Darren Posey, Comic Relief. What's going on, my brother? But he does speak facts, too. What's up, Darren Posey? Appreciate that super chat. Darren Posey said, gee, half these jokers win Pampers will still be in the bed when those quarterbacks won Super Bowl. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Darren Posey, they still think Super Bowls are a quarterback stat. I'm sorry, Super Bowls are not a quarterback stat. Super Bowls are a team stat. The best teams win Super Bowls. The best quarterbacks don't always win Super Bowls. They don't. I'm sorry, the best quarterbacks don't always win Super Bowls. And that don't mean that those quarterbacks are bad. That just means one of two things. They either ran against a team that was better than them, or the team they were on was not good enough. Or maybe it's a combination of the two. Bottom line. JTX made. He said the Commanders went to the NFC Championship on a Cinderella year because they beat the 4th and 5th string Detroit Lions defenders. That's why I said the seeding, JTX made. Context is important. I can remember Dan Quinn wanted to go the route that he went because he said himself it was the easiest route to the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, he still had to face the super team, which was the Philadelphia Eagles that year. Yeah. Texas 78724, last one. You said that Dak is here because of Jerry Jones' ego. Well, there's a lot of GMs in this league that would disagree with you. Because as a matter of fact, Adam Schefter himself reported, Texas, that if Jerry Jones had let Dak Prescott go into free agency, teams were salivating and lined up, and Dak Prescott was going to get that $60 million deal or more. That's number one. So let's disprove that issue. And by your logic, Texas, there's a whole lot of quarterbacks that would have been shipped off if we're basing it on what you say. Most people realize, and they're now realizing it, Dak's never been the problem. Dak's never been the problem. The problem is that Jerry Jones failed to put the players around Dak Prescott. And he's finally got the team. In Texas 7824, I'm sorry, I said the last one. Texas 78724. I don't know, because I always laugh when people say I'm a real Dallas Cowboy fan. Okay, I don't know what that means. But at the same time, so has Dak Prescott played on a team that was good as the team that Troy Aikman played on in 92, 93, and 1995? Do you not realize what it took for Troy Aikman to win a Super Bowl? And when I say team, I'm talking about coaches, and I'm talking about the players around Dak Prescott. So you going to tell all of us in Cowboys Nation that Dak Prescott has played on a team that's as good as Troy Aikman played in 92, 93, 95. Because we know what Troy Aikman looked like outside of 92, 93, 95. So that's telling you what it took for Troy Aikman to win the Super Bowl. And not only that, since you are a Dallas Cowboy fan, because everybody always say that every time they want to bash the Cowboys. I'm a real Dallas Cowboy fan. Oh, okay, I forgot the real Dallas Cowboy fans. They bash the Dallas Cowboys. So I got two questions for you, because you're very talkative. Has Dak Prescott played on the team not only as good as the team that Troy Aikman played on? Has Dak Prescott played on a team that was as good as the Super Bowl teams that Roger Staubach played on? See, a lot of people, they're disingenuous. Because when you look at the teams that our Super Bowl quarterbacks have been on, go back and look at those teams, pound for pound. I don't think people understand what a Super Bowl level team looks like, especially when you look at the ones that these quarterbacks have won Super Bowls on with the Dallas Cowboys. Go back and look at that Roger Staubach team, pound for pound. If you come back and tell me that Dak Prescott and even Tony "Oh No" Romo have played on teams as good as Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman, I'm going to tell you straight up, you are not a real Dallas Cowboy fan. And I'm going to tell you, you're either delusional or you're a hater. When you look at the two teams that it took for Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman, what? Stop it. Pound for pound, Dak Prescott ain't seen one of those teams. Stop it. Absolutely stop it. Troy Aikman and Roger Staubach have played on Hall of Fame teams. Stop it. You ain't winning no arguments over here. Not with them old trite arguments. You ain't winning over here. When you look at the quarterbacks we have that have won Super Bowls, go look at those teams and then come back and talk to me. Man, Roger Staubach, pound for pound? Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman, I'm telling you, I bet if you go pound for pound, Troy Aikman and Roger Staubach played on 2 top 25 teams of all time in the Super Bowl. Stop it. Absolutely stop it. Go look at that and then come back and talk to me. Matter of fact, go back and look at that team that Jalen Hurts played on. What was this, 2024? Stop it. That team in 2024 that Jalen Hurts played on, pound for pound, you're not going to find many teams in the last 10 years that's been as good as that team that Jalen Hurts played on. He was the weak link. Shoot, stop it. Stop it. Man, this is... Man, I be rolling on these conversations. And I'm telling you, every time somebody gonna bash Cowboys, get ready, because they gonna preface it with this right here. I'm a real Cowboys fan. Get ready, because they gonna say something egregious. I guess the rest of us ain't real Cowboy fans. I guess the rest of us ain't Cowboys fans. Shoot. I've never played in a Super Bowl, but I can tell you this. I don't think people really understand what it takes to win a Super Bowl. It takes a lot. It takes a lot. And I'm sorry. If you think it only takes a great quarterback, you haven't been watching Super Bowls. You haven't been watching Super Bowls if you think it takes great quarterbacks. Doesn't even take great quarterbacks to win. Sorry. Let's hear the rest of this Dallas Cowboys discussion.
This team could be dangerous.
Kyle loves the hype.
I'm just so excited to be on ESPN talking about the Cowboys. I made it, Dad!
Isn't saying all that.
Now again, I want you to listen to what they keep saying. They're not talking about Dak Prescott in this conversation. They're talking about the team that Dak Prescott is playing on. I don't even hear Dak Prescott in this conversation. I'm hearing the team. That's why they're excited. Listen.
Much, but they were better, and I think this team could be dangerous.
Kyle loves the hype.
I'm just so
You hear what he said? The team can be dangerous.
excited to be on ESPN talking about the Cowboys. I made it, Dad! It must be July. You know? In April, we talk about the Jets, and then we talk about the Cowboys. We did it!
Now, we'll be talking,
Reading talks the Jets.
we'll
We
talk
talk the
about
Cowboys.
the Cowboys in December.
Oh, I know.
Regardless of their record. All right, who's next? J-Mac, what do you have your eye on?
Aaron Donald, is he really?
DJ Creations, what's going on? Another perfect point. Sam Darnold is a perfect example. He's not a great quarterback. Look at his supporting cast. And I tell you this, DJ Creations, he looked great on that team, don't he? But it's funny, DJ Creations. You know what they asked him to do, D Junior Creations? You know what they asked him to do in the Super Bowl? Something simple. Don't turn the ball over. That's all they asked him to do. Don't turn the ball over. Our defense is good enough to beat the Patriots. Don't turn the ball over. Turn around, hand the ball off. We'll beat this team running the ball, Sam Darnold. Don't turn the ball over. And I'm telling you right now, Seattle won that game and they put the clanks on Jackson Smith and Jigba. What? Put the clanks on Jackson Smith and Jigba. Dominated the Patriots. It didn't take great quarterback play. Dak Prescott hasn't been the problem on this team. The problem on this team is they haven't been building a winning team around him. It requires a team to win Super Bowls. That's why I just laugh at these conversations where people, I mean, it's the go-to reason why the Cowboys haven't won a Super Bowl. Dak Prescott. He's the reason. It's nothing else. There's nothing else the Cowboys have done or didn't do. It's nothing else. It's not no other player. It's not Jerry Jones. It's not the coaches. It's nothing else. It's just Dak Prescott. All right, let's move over here. And before we get to CBS, matter of fact, let me stay on this ESPN Sky High thing real quick. I don't think people understand something. The problem is with people when they talk about Dallas Cowboys Super Bowls. And then when you start looking at some of these teams that these Super Bowl winning players are played on, these Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, when you look at some of the teams around these quarterbacks, it's incredible. It's incredible. Hold on a second. People don't understand this stuff. And you can tell that they don't understand this stuff. Let me go back for a second. Just for the sake of argument. Let me show you the team. Roger Staubach's last Super Bowl win. Oh, Tommy Solo. Yeah, I'm not going to be at Oxnard. I hadn't hit that level yet. No, I'm not going to be at Oxnard. Are you going to be there? Let me know. Give me some exclusive footage. Let me show you the roster that Roger Staubach had around him. Roger Staubach, they beat the Denver Broncos in the 1977 season. Roger Staubach, Hall of Fame quarterback. We ain't finna take nothing away from Roger. Roger Staubach was ahead of his time. Roger Staubach could run the ball, could scramble, could throw, all of these different things. All of that is great, but hold on a second. Roger Staubach isn't the reason they won those Super Bowls. He was a part of the reason. Look at this team pound for pound. Roger Staubach's last Super Bowl. Look at this man's team pound for pound. His backup quarterback was Danny White. Now, some folk are too young to remember Danny White. Danny White was better than a lot of teams' starting quarterback. Danny White, if Roger Staubach would have went down, Cowboys fans wouldn't have blinked because Danny White with talent, Danny White could have won a Super Bowl too. But let's look at his running backs. Running backs. Tony Dorsett. Need I say more? His running back was Tony Dorsett. The fullback was Robert Newhouse. Some folk don't remember number 44. 44 was nothing to play with. His running back was also Preston Pearson. Folk don't realize how great Preston Pearson was. Wide receivers. Drew Pearson, Butch Johnson, and Golden Richards. Now, you might think, well, that's not that good. Go back and watch. You're talking Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame tight ends. Billy Joe Dupree. Billy Joe Dupree was a monster. Man carried cocaine in his pants. Man was a monster. Look at this. Their offensive line was Rayfield Wright, Tom Rafferty, John Fitzgerald, Burton Lawless, Herb Scott, Andy Frederick, Jim Cooper. In case you didn't realize it, incredible offensive line. Defensive line, anybody? Randy White? What? Randy White, Harvey Martin, Ed Too Tall Jones, Jethro Pugh, Larry Cole, and John Dutton. Ain't nobody beating you. Incredible. Incredible. Linebackers. Thomas Hollywood Henderson, Leroy Jordan, D.D. Lewis, Bob Brewing, Mike Hagman, Bruce Harden. Look at the defensive back. Benny Barnes, Mel Renfro, Cliff Harris, Charlie Waters. I don't think we've had a defensive backfield like this. We're just, we ain't even close to this yet. We ain't even close to this yet. This defensive backfield is incredible. Raphael Septien, and the punter was the quarterback too, Danny White. Might not realize it. This is a Hall of Fame level team. That is a Hall of Fame level team. Dak Prescott, and I'm going to put Tony Romo in there too. They've never played for teams that were this loaded. Never. Never have they ever. I don't think people understand what it requires to win Super Bowls, man. It requires a team. This is why we are watching teams with so-so quarterbacks to win Super Bowls. I was going to do this segment a couple of weeks ago, and I put it on the back burner. I was going to do a segment on the worst quarterbacks to ever win Super Bowls. And this is why when I laugh when I hear people say, yeah, man, you know, guy earlier, no offense to him. I mean, he fine, you know, he can have his opinion. But when you talk about the worst quarterbacks to win the Super Bowl, it goes to show you that Super Bowls are not a quarterback stat. Super Bowls are a team stat. Let me show you a list of quarterbacks that they say were the worst quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl. Jim McMahon. Only thing I remember Jim McMahon for is 1985. I don't remember Jim McMahon for anything else. That's it. But he played on one of the probably greatest teams ever. Jim McMahon. Look who else is on here. Brad Johnson. But his defense was incredible. Brad Johnson. Oh, man. Mark Rippon played on an incredible team. Go back and look at the run game and the defense he was playing with. They were incredible. Number 2, Trent Dilfer. No, somebody was talking about killer instinct. I don't think he had a killer instinct. Look at what the caption says. Baltimore's defense was so good that all Dilfer needed to do was not screw it up for the Ravens to win. I'd love for Dak Prescott to be on that kind of team. Number 1, Jeff Hostetler. Yeah. Career backup. Never would have started, but due to injury. But he had a great coach, great coaches, great team. It's not about what people keep making it about. And Jerry Jones is to blame for some of this. By not putting these teams around Dak Prescott, but then out here in the media talking about, yeah, man, we only go as far as Dak takes us. Stop it, Jerry. Terrible. Dak gets some of this heat because of Jerry Jones, too. Yes, he does. Get some of that heat because of Jerry Jones. Thought it was just, man, it was preposterous running around. Yeah, we only go as far as Dak take us. What do you mean as far as Dak take us? We haven't said that about no other quarterback. When did we ever say that about Troy Aikman? When did we ever say that about Roger Staubach? Man, it was just crazy talk that Jerry was doing. Just absolute crazy talk. What's going on, Blakey? It was just crazy talk that Jerry was doing. And that's why now, have you noticed? Okay. Jerry has backed way off a lot of that talk. Anybody notice that? Jerry's backed way off that talk. Now what Jerry is focused on is putting players around Dak Prescott. Yeah. How about doing that first? How about doing that first, Jerry? Jeremy said, this is crazy, bro. He said if the teams were built, a lot of teams of quarterbacks play with with pro players. Duh, they're in the NFL. They're all pros. That don't mean they win. What are we doing here? Yeah, I was going to do a whole segment on this. Because, see, I challenge people when they say this. When people say Dak Prescott doesn't have a killer instinct. Well, I can show you quarterbacks that it is indisputable they had killer instincts and they never won a Super Bowl. Let me bring it back. I was gonna talk about this. Why not now? It's the offseason. Look at this. Top 10 quarterbacks to never win a Super Bowl. Donovan McNabb. Don't let people fool you. Donovan McNabb was good. And I still say he could have won a Super Bowl if it wasn't for his hate for Terrell Owens. Terrell Owens couldn't be stopped in that Super Bowl against the Patriots. Terrell Owens was playing on a broke leg. And this dude was unstoppable. And I still say, had Donovan McNabb just kept throwing it to him, Patriots had no answer. But nevertheless, Donovan McNabb. Let me tell you something. Man, they got Dan Fouts at number 9. Man, I think Dan Fouts may need to be in the top 5. Dan Fouts was incredible. He had an offense, and I believe it was Eric Coryell or whatever they called it. Dan Fouts was incredible. He never won a Super Bowl. Why? It's simple. Didn't have the team around. He had some great wide receivers, but he didn't have the team. Steve McNair, anybody? Steve McNair got there. Just didn't have the teams around him after that 1 year. Not to mention he started having some injuries and things like that. Carson Palmer. Another one. Just couldn't make it over the hump. Some was injuries, but he couldn't make it over the hump. Warren Moon. I don't know if a lot of people remember Warren Moon. Incredible quarterback. Had to go to the CFL, put up monster numbers there. Came back to the NFL, put up monster numbers. Didn't win a Super Bowl. Oh man, you gotta be, I know I'm old because I remember Fran Tarkenton. Fran Tarkenton could keep a play alive for 20 seconds. Fran Tarkenton, man, let me tell you, this dude could scramble just scramble. No Super Bowls. You led him to 3 in 4 seasons. No Super Bowls. And nobody can forget Jim Kelly. 4 Super Bowls, didn't win. Matt Ryan, no Super Bowls. Phillip Rivers, I'll say Phillip Rivers was really good. No Super Bowls. And I knew this would be number 1. Dan Marino. Dan Marino. Super Bowls are a team stat. You need the team to go to the Super Bowls. You gotta have the teams, man. It's bottom line. You just gotta have the teams. Man, if you don't have the team, bro, you ain't winning Super Bowls. I'm sorry. Look at the year that Cam Newton put the Carolina Panthers on his back. There was no way they were winning that Super Bowl. We're not winning that Super Bowl. Team wasn't good enough. Team just wasn't good enough. You gotta have good teams, man, to win Super Bowls. It's bottom line. Heights off health, he love that laugh. Gotta have Super Bowls. Yeah, Niecy. I agree. Warren Moon should have a Super Bowl. Absolutely. Show me teams that win the Super Bowls, and I'm gonna show you quarterbacks. Show me quarterbacks that won Super Bowls, and I'm gonna show you quarterbacks who were on great teams. Bazzy 9. Until Buffalo stops trying to make Josh Allen drag them to the Super Bowl, they're never going to win. Same thing, I mentioned it earlier, Bazzy 9. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, And again, man, everybody keeps talking about Matthew Stafford. But some of us are old enough to remember. Matthew Stafford used to be on a bad team, and it was called the Detroit Lions. Matthew Stafford was on a bad team for a long time. Guess when he started winning Super Bowls? You think it was because he came to the Rams? It's not because he came to the Rams that he won a Super Bowl. It's because he came to Sean McVay, and Sean McVay put a super team around Matthew Stafford. It takes a team. Because it's funny to me, because I'm telling you, a lot of people were saying this about Dak Prescott. Some people were saying Dak Prescott's going to leave the Dallas Cowboys. He's going to win a Super Bowl with another team. A lot of people were saying that. Matthew Stafford played with the Detroit Lions for years. Goes over to the Los Angeles Rams, win a Super Bowl 23-20. Still a bit concerned. I still think Cincinnati might have got cheated out of that Super Bowl. I still think they might have got cheated, but nevertheless, they won that Super Bowl. But when you look at the team, when you look at the players that they had Matthew Stafford playing with, it's incredible. They put a super team around him. You got to have a team. Just got to have a team. Yeah, JCT, Slice Stafford, man, Stafford has always put up numbers. I mean, you could almost say that Matthew Stafford was the Dak Prescott of, I forget when he played with the Detroit Lions. I mean, he's been around so long. But you could literally say, let me see, here's Matthew Stafford played with the Lions. Matthew Stafford was going to fade off into obscurity until he went to the Rams. Matthew Stafford, you could literally say Matthew Stafford was the Dak Prescott of the 2010s. He was. Matthew Stafford was the Dak Prescott of the 2010s. He played with the Detroit Lions from 2009 to 2020. Matthew Stafford had been putting up numbers. He had been putting up numbers. They just wasn't putting the teams around him. Stafford was an absolute, he was a baller with Detroit. Just didn't have the teams. And I find it to be amazing. Sean McVay goes and trade for him, brings him to the Rams, put players around him. What do? They go and win a Super Bowl. Bottom line. I'm just telling us, man, these are not quarterback stats. These are not Super Bowl wins. It's not a quarterback stat. A Super Bowl win is the ultimate celebration of a team. It is the ultimate celebration of a team. Teams win Super Bowls. Teams go to Super Bowls. The best team wins Super Bowls. Players don't take teams to Super Bowls. Mythology. Yeah. And Hawk, let me say this. Let me add to what you're saying. Now, Dak doesn't have to get out of the divisional round, Hawk. See, that's where the Cowboys, this is where they're trying to get their mentality away from. No. Dak don't need to get out of the divisional round. The Dallas Cowboys need to get out of the divisional round. That's who needs to get out of the divisional round, Hawk. Dak ain't getting out of no divisional round by himself. He's not doing it. And we got to stop trying to get Dak Prescott to do stuff that other quarterbacks are not being asked to do. Yeah, Dak's got to play outside of himself. What? Okay, what quarterback are we talking about that's played outside of himself? Who's that quarterback? Sam Darnold didn't play outside of himself last year. Jalen Hurts didn't play outside of himself the year he won. Patrick Mahomes hadn't been playing outside of himself. Tom Brady actually hadn't played outside of himself. Who's the quarterback? I'm still looking for the quarterback that played outside of themselves. Who was that quarterback? I don't even know who that quarterback is. Nisi said they gave Stafford Megatron and a couple of defensive players, and that was it. And Nisi and Barry Sanders with no line. Barry Sanders got tired of losing, Nisi. He retired. Barry Sanders could have been the best. He could have been the best running back statistically to ever play the game. That man quit. He still had about 4 years in him. Man still had 4 years in him. He quit. Got tired of losing. Absolutely. Man just got tired. Man just got tired of losing. People don't realize, man, Matthew Stafford was the Dak Prescott of the 90s. Of the 2010s. And it's amazing now how everybody is, they're lifting up Matthew Stafford. Where were those people? Nisi, help me out, Nisi. Where were those people who were talking about Matthew Stafford in the 2010s? Where were they? All these folks who now talking about Matthew Stafford, best quarterback since sliced bread. Where were they in the 2010s? Where were they? Where were they from 2009 to 2020? Where were they? But now that he's gotten with Sean McVay, and Sean McVay, notice how Matthew Stafford looks with the Rams when he's got an average team versus when he has a super team. Go check the stats. Whenever they go to the Super Bowl, whenever they start doing something, look at the players that they put on that team. This is the very reason why now Aaron Donald is all the talk for the Rams, because they want to bring Aaron Donald out of retirement so that he can play with Myles Garrett. Yeah, and then they're going to come back and say, yeah, man, and Matthew Stafford, he's the best quarterback in the league. That's exactly what they're going to do. Nisi, they were nowhere to be found, Nisi. But you, me, some of us others who are old enough to remember, yeah, we remember Matthew Stafford. Yeah, he wasn't in no conversations. Yeah, we remember. Yeah, Bazzy, now and they were chopping him up. He wasn't in no conversations of the best quarterback, MVP, all this stuff. Just like Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford got later in his career, got with the Rams, and then people started saying, you know what? Matthew Stafford didn't have the teams. No! You think? Doesn't make sense. But again, let's keep going with the show today. I got a lot of stuff on the show. I don't want to get too bogged down. But again, as you keep listening to what people are talking about, I'm noticing that they're saying this for the reason why they're saying this is what makes me happy. They're saying this because of the team the Dallas Cowboys are putting around Dak Prescott. That's why they're saying it. And that's why we should all be excited. It's the team they're putting around Dak Prescott.
If you have a Cowboys fan in your life, you've probably heard, this is our year. But maybe you should listen to them this time. We know Dak and that offense can put up points. Dak, now the Cowboys' all-time pass leader. He had quite the duo, the wide receiver duo in George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. And to think if they just had an average defense last year, maybe things would be different. They addressed that in the draft, so we shall see. And even though the Cowboys have missed the playoffs the past 2 seasons, plenty of primetime games on the schedule.
Yeah, it's funny what she just said. If the defense would have been average. You know what she really just said? Yeah, if they would have had a team. Yeah, had they had a team. Yeah, that's the issue. Because the defense is a part of your team. Yeah, that's all everybody keeps saying. They don't realize that's what they're saying. Yeah, had they had a team. Oh, yeah. Had they had a team. D. Jr., he said, respectfully, there's more context for that Packers game, and we're going to get to it. He said, I can point out a lot of things in my opinion. And when it comes to both of the Niners game, I can only blame one on Dak. And I'll tell you this, D Junior Creations, we went back and looked at it last year. I can even change your mind on that one. But I get why people say it. But I can even change your mind on that one. Frank Lawrence, he said, name Super Bowl winning teams with an average to subpar coaching. Right there. That part. That part, Frank Lawrence. And that's the part people don't pay enough attention to when it comes to Super Bowl winning teams. They don't pay enough attention to the coaching staff. They don't pay enough attention. Oh, hey, I'm sorry, niece. I forgot you just celebrated your 21st birthday. I'm the one that's old. Yeah, I'm the one that's old. I forgot. I'm sorry. But I know you know some Cowboys history. You done went to them libraries. Wink, wink. Oh, man. Yeah. But you know what I'm talking about. Mixed Matrix in the building. I always got to announce Miss Matrix. What's going on? Good to see you. All right.
6 night games, including that opener there. Week 1, Sunday Night Football against the Giants. They're going to be challenged early, going to Brazil. Week 3 against the Ravens, followed by a 1 p.m. Eastern kickoff in Houston the following week. And the bye week doesn't come all the way until week 14. So let's welcome on Garrett Podell and Ryan Wilson as we dive deeper into the Dallas Cowboys. And gentlemen, we know the problem.
This guy in the middle. What? I just did a double take on this guy in the middle. Does anybody watch the series From on, I think, MGM? Does anybody watch From? Tell me the dude in the middle don't look like the dude from From. Man, this dude in the middle like the dude from man. He looks like the dude from all the way down to the smile, man. What?
Problem with the Cowboys wasn't the offense last season. The offense can produce, but can this new look defense, new D coordinator, new additions via the draft, hold up their end of the bargain, Ryan?
Hey, Jacqueline. Hey, Garrett. Good to see you guys. And look, and Garrett can speak to this because he covers the Cowboys. He lives in the Dallas area. But I think even the most casual fan would understand that if that defense had been anything close to average, as you talked about, Jacqueline, last year, they certainly would have.
Now, just notice the language that they're using. All they're saying in the grand scheme of things, yeah, they didn't have a team. That's all they're saying. They're proving our point. The Cowboys have not had the teams around Dak Prescott. He's been good. I think he's on another level now because of his mind. But all they keep saying is they're just saying it in a different way. He hasn't had the team around him. If he would have had an average defense, wow.
Won more than 7 games. They won 7 games the year before that. Prior to that, though, they had several 12-win seasons under Mike McCarthy. But the defense, I mean, this graphic doesn't even tell the truth about how bad things were last year.
Defense was
and
off.
we went through the whole Micah Parsons situation, him getting traded right before the season. The defense actually on paper has a chance to be much better. And if much better gets you to average, I think that translates, even though we saw coming in how tough that schedule looks, to double-digit wins, a chance to challenge in the division, and a chance to do something you haven't done in a long time, is make a legitimately deep playoff run. But that's a big if. I think Christian Parker is the right DC for the job as we sit here. It's just a matter of getting to that point to get to average. Does that sound reasonable, Garrett?
I think it does, Ryan. And one of the biggest things.
And Ricky Beavers, you proving my point again. You said Russell Wilson got 2 Super Bowls. Go back. Look at the teams that Russell Wilson played on. Look at the coaching. Look at the players, and especially the defense. Tell me again, has Dak Prescott ever played on a team that was as good as those Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl teams? Now, if you being honest, you tell me. But Dak Prescott, and I'm going to throw Tony Romo in there, they have never played on a team as good as those Seattle Super Bowl teams that Russell Wilson was the quarterback of. Never. We run around here, we had a defense. I can't remember. I was trying to think about it for a second. The name of the defense the Cowboys were calling themselves was the Hot Boys. Man, that don't even sound like a Super Bowl winning defense. The Hot Boys? Don't sound like, shoot, don't sound like no, don't sound like to me somebody that I'm afraid of. The Hot Boys, oh, I'm afraid of them, all right. But when I hear Hot Boys, hey, man, I ain't afraid of them for the, hey, this ain't back in the day with them boys, Cash Money. When I hear Hot Boys on a football team, nah, I ain't hearing the defense I'm afraid of. When your defense is called the Legion of Boom, now that sounds like a scary defense. Yeah. That sounds like a scary defense right there.
Things the players love about Christian Parker is how he's simplifying their play calls. One of the things I talked to them about is under Matt Eberflus last year, you saw the horrific numbers. Play calls lasted a sentence or two, which in today's NFL, the up-tempo spread offenses, that's just too long. That doesn't give defenders enough time to, one, make sure they're lined up in the right place, two, make sure their teammates are lined up in the right place, and then three, see what the offense is doing on the other side of the line of scrimmage. I spoke with Deron Bland and Christian Parker about how Parker has simplified the play calls now to just 2 to 5 words per call. That's it. I wrote a whole story about this on CBSSports.com, but they really feel like that.
All right, so simplifying
the worst pass defense in football. So I think that could be a big shift, as well as, like you said, Ryan, all the different pieces on this defense that they've added.
All right, so let's get to the biggest concern, right, which I think I know the direction that we're going. And Garrett, you mentioned it. Under Christian Parker, they are simplifying the play calls here. In the draft, they address those defensive needs in Malachi Lawrence and Caleb Downs. But Garrett, you still have some concerns in terms of the cohesion, having it all come together on defense.
I do, because that's a big shift in the play call system, like I mentioned, and also the type of defense they're running, a lot more disguise coverage, which requires a lot more post-snap communication than what Dallas was doing a year ago. And then on all three levels, they traded for Rashawn Gary from the Green Bay Packers. He had 7.5 sacks last year, but he didn't have any from week 9 to the end of the season. So they're relying on him a lot to bring more pass rush juice. Like you mentioned, Jacklin, a rookie, and Malachi Lawrence, they took out of UCF in the first round. Second level, new middle green dot linebacker for them, whether that's a guy they traded for in D. Winters or DeMarvion Overshown, who's only been the weak side linebacker, never been a green dot at this level. And Caleb Downs, who has blown me away in the offseason program, OTAs and minicamp. They're asking him to do a lot in terms of secondary post-snap communication with the calls as the hybrid nickel safety guy. So it'll be really interesting to see how this all comes together come August and September.
Yeah, we never.
See, this is the big point. See, this is the big thing for the Dallas Cowboys.
Never talk really about the offense, but I will go to the offensive side.
They got to have a defense. Hold on a second. Let me show you something real quick. Yeah, the defense is going to be a real big issue for the Cowboys. Just a real big issue. Man, I'm telling you right now. Now, oh boy, he looks better than the dude from. Don't get me wrong. He definitely looks better than the dude from. But boy, he sure has a resemblance, don't he? Man. Boy, he definitely has a resemblance, don't he? Yeah, now he looked better than the dude from, in case he watched this video. I'm not hating on you, man, Garrett. I'm not hating on you. You look better than the dude from. I mean, you look like the normal version of him. But like if he was like normal. Yeah, you look better than he do. But boy, I tell you the truth, boy. Boy, you share an eerily, man, you share a resemblance. Man. Boy, you share a resemblance to old boy, man. Yes, you definitely share an eerily resemblance, especially when he made up. Man. Sure, an eerie resemblance, my brother. But again, you know, he keeps talking about the defense for the Dallas Cowboys. And people may not realize it, man, but Bear Bryant said it best. Offense score points. Defense wins championships. Yeah. Defense wins championships, man. And this is really the tale. This is really the tale, man, when you think about winning Super Bowls. All right. So I want to show you something real quick before he starts talking about the offense. So I just pulled up the defensive rankings and regular season points allowed per game for the last 20 Super Bowl winners. So I want y'all to see this. This is the defensive rank of the last 20 Super Bowl winners. Now, you're going to find something strange in here. Patrick Mahomes is one of very few that has pulled this off. Won a Super Bowl with less than a top 10 defense over the last 10 years. It is a pure anomaly to be able to win a Super Bowl with a defense of less than a top 10 defense. And, you know, we might as well, I mean, you just think about this. 2025. This is when Jalen Hurts won his Super Bowl. You want to know why he won that Super Bowl? He wasn't the MVP, the defense was. The defense was. Kansas City Chiefs, they won the Super Bowl in 2024. Look at their defensive rank. Let me blow this up a little bit. Kansas City Chiefs won it in 2023. They were ranked 11th. They won it in 2022. They were ranked 12th. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady, defense was 8th. Kansas City Chiefs, 2020, defense was 7th. New England Patriots, 2019, defense was 7th. Nick Foles, defensive rank, 2018, 4th. New England Patriots, 2017, 1st. Now, a lot of people don't realize, man, some of these Super Bowls that Tom Brady's won, them defenses were nasty, man. 2016 Broncos, defense 1st. New England Patriots, here it is again, 2015, they were 8th. 2014, and this is why when you start talking about Russell Wilson going to Super Bowls, look at the defensive rank. Yeah, you're going to win some Super Bowls when your defense is ranked number 1, Russell Wilson. Yeah, you're going to win some. Absolutely. You're going to win a Super Bowl when your defense is ranked 1st. 2013, Baltimore Ravens, they were ranked 12th. 2012, New York Giants, they were ranked 25th. But you'd have thought they were ranked 1st the way they whooped up on the New England Patriots. You think they was ranked 1st. They were red hot when they went in that doggone Super Bowl. I think that's the year we're talking about. 2011, Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers, sole Super Bowl. Defense was ranked 2nd. New Orleans Saints, ranked 20th. I think that was that Drew Brees? I don't think that go back that far. Who was that Drew Brees in 2010? I mean, we really that far beyond Drew Brees. 2009, Ben Roethlisberger. People don't understand. Ben Roethlisberger was also winning some of the. People were giving Ben Roethlisberger all this credit. His defense was ranked 1st in 2009. The New York Giants, their defense was ranked 7th in 2008. The Colts were ranked 23rd in 2007. And in 2006, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense was ranked 4th, which also helped out Ben Roethlisberger, if that's the Super Bowl. But again, you see a common theme in winning Super Bowls. Man, you got to have defense. I'm sorry. You just got to have defense. You got to have a defense. and preferably a top 5 defense. That's what you really need, is a top 5 defense. And this is why everybody keeps talking about the Dallas Cowboys defense. And the sad part about the Dallas Cowboys defense, the Dallas Cowboys defense has actually been overrated in some of the seasons with Dak Prescott, because even though the defense was ranked somewhat high, it was fool's gold. It was based off of points per game. Sometimes it was based off turnovers. It was based off those things. But then when you dug into the statistics for the Cowboys, they couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop the run. And that's been the problem. It's hard to go to a Super Bowl, man, when your defenses aren't good. It's just hard to do. And a lot of people don't want to accept this. It's just hard to do. I want to see if I can pull up the rank of the Cowboys defense. Let me see if I can pull it up over the last 20 seasons. And as a matter of fact, let's see if we can do it over the last 10 seasons. And again, when you look at the Cowboys defense over the last 10 seasons, and this is the biggest problem that you see with the Dallas Cowboys defense. You look at these defenses for the Cowboys and you think, man, these defenses were great. Problem is, these defenses were fool's gold. Look at this right here. 2025, the Cowboys defense was 32nd. 2024, they were 26th. So the Cowboys in 2023, they were 5th. 2022, they were 5th. 2021, they were 7th. Anybody believe this? If you look at these defenses on film, would you believe those defenses were 5th, and 7th? Not if you looked at them on tape. How was the Dallas Cowboys 2023 defense 5th? Is that a real stat? Now, the reason why I'm asking this, let's go to 2023. Would you really believe that defense the Cowboys had was a number 5 ranked defense? I can remember like yesterday, Michael Parsons said, if you got a really good defense, your defense should be able to withstand 2 turnovers. Dak Prescott committed 2 turnovers. You got to tell me, because I'm confused on this. Dak Prescott doesn't play defense. If I'm not mistaken, one of the turnovers Dak Prescott made didn't even equate into a touchdown. One of the turnovers didn't equate into a touchdown, if I'm not mistaken. So you're telling me you have a top 5 defense and you go into the playoffs and you give up 510 yards. Is that what a top 10 defense does? Those Cowboys defenses under Dan Quinn, they were fool's gold. They were not good against the run. I think one of them may have been good against the run. But for the most part, those defenses were flawed. They put up 272 yards, which isn't bad. But rushing yards, you tell me you give up 143 yards rushing in a playoff game, you're not winning. You're not winning. So something isn't right. Why doesn't, people talk about Dak Prescott. Why don't these Dallas Cowboys defense rise to the occasion in the playoffs? Which I do believe one year against the 49ers, they actually played extremely well. But we've already showed in the year the Cowboys actually had a defense, the best wide receiver they had was CeeDee Lamb. Zeke was on the outs. Tony Pollard broke his leg, and our next best wide receiver was Noah Brown. You can have a great defense, but you're not beating nobody, and CeeDee Lamb's your only wide receiver. But again, 2023, the Green Bay Packers ran through us like Swiss cheese. Swiss cheese. CeeDee Lamb was our only weapon on offense. We were not beating that Green Bay Packers team. And anybody who was watching the Green Bay Packers, they would have knew that. It says Jordan Love, 16 of 21 for 272 yards and 3 touchdowns. How do you give that up to Jordan Love? 21 carries for 118 yards for Aaron Jones. Romeo Doubs caught 6 passes for 151 yards and 1 touchdown. How do you do that to a top 5 defense? How do you do that? Those defenses were fool's gold. And then when you turn to the offensive side of the ball, this is a very telling stat. Dak Prescott was 41 of 60, 403 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. A lot of that came in the second half. Tony Pollard rushed 15 times for 56 yards. Why didn't they mention Zeke? Non-factor. CeeDee Lamb, 9 passes for 110. Jake Ferguson, 10 for 93 and 3 touchdowns. Once again, when you look at these teams that Dak Prescott has played in the playoffs with, the problem with these teams, they were not complete teams. If you're going to win Super Bowls, you need complete teams. The Green Bay Packers in 2023 were a more complete team than we were. Bottom line. And I'm telling y'all, it was fool's gold. I was terrified. Me and my uncle were having a conversation about that game. It was before I started my channel. And me and my uncle we were having a conversation about that game. Terrified. Terrified. Because we knew in our heart of hearts, we knew, man, Green Bay was better than Dallas. We knew Green Bay was better than Dallas. We knew it, and we knew we couldn't stop the run. We knew it. We were terrified. And we were up in there, man, if, that's all we kept saying about the Cowboys. How do you say that about a 12-5 team? We knew the Cowboys were not good. We knew it. Frank Lawrence said Dak haters who are Cowboys fans, who you want to bring in to replace Dak? Perfect point. Who you going to bring in? Yeah. Since Jimmy, lay the blame on the front office circus and the mediocre coaching. That's it. Jerry has failed to put together a team, and I'm talking about all the way up to the coaches. Bernard said, if you looked at the games as a fan, our defense didn't fool you, G. You knew what teams we had a chance against. Great point. Bernard Field. When we played against the Green Bay Packers, I'm telling you, man, me and my uncle were having a conversation, and we were, it's crazy, because we were like, if, yeah, when you got that many ifs, you ain't winning, man. You ain't winning. You're not winning, man. We were not good enough to beat the Green Bay Packers, and we don't like to mention this stuff. We were just not good enough to beat the Green Bay Packers as a team. And I'm sorry, Dak Prescott's not beating anybody by himself. And a lot of these teams, they were very smart. They would look at the Cowboys' weaknesses. They would look at their weaknesses and say, okay, they would look at their strengths and say, hold on a second. The Cowboys only have one wide receiver and they can't run the game. We'll rush forward, drop 7, double cover CeeDee Lamb, and see what Dak Prescott does then. Take away Dak Prescott's first read. In 2023, if you took away Dak Prescott's first read, there was no second read. It was run for your life, Forrest. It was. It was run for your life, Forrest. There really wasn't a second read against when CeeDee Lamb, if you double cover CeeDee Lamb in 2023, there was no second option. No, Hawk, I've been saying this. I've been saying in the Cowboys defense was fool's gold in 2023. Everybody knew this. It's no secret that 2023 defense was fool's gold. Now, Let's go back. Now, when you look at this 2022, 2021 seasons, those seasons, the defense still wasn't as good as those numbers show. The Cowboys were getting those ranks because of other things on defense. But I can bet you this, it wasn't because they were the best team against the run. It wasn't because they were the best team against the run. And if you go back and look at these playoff games, some of them, the run beat them. And then when you go back and look, I think it's the 2022 season. The second game, the first game when we played the 49ers, the first game we played the 49ers, tough game. And I got to tell the truth. Dak Prescott did throw a bad interception. And what made that interception so bad that Dak Prescott threw, I think it was the 2022 season. I'm thinking that's the one. What made that interception so bad is that I believe that the Cowboys were getting ready to go in maybe for a touchdown. It was a drive that would have put the Cowboys in the lead. Dak Prescott threw an interception, and the 49ers were able to get the best of us. Second game against the 49ers, and I believe that's the 2023 game, offense just wasn't good enough. Bottom line, offense just wasn't good enough. Yeah, Hawk, I agree with you. The complimentary football wasn't there. The offense just wasn't good enough in 2023. You might could have done something in 2023 had the offense been better. In 2022, it just wasn't good enough. It just wasn't. The offense just wasn't good enough. And even in 2023, you think about it, this is the year that the Cowboys decided to let go of Amari Cooper. I think it was the dumbest thing they did. If the Cowboys would have kept Amari Cooper, I would have loved to see the Cowboys against the Green Bay Packers with Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb coming into his own. But then the other problem is, does CeeDee Lamb come into his own in 2023 if you keep Amari Cooper? CeeDee Lamb really came into his own when they let go of Amari Cooper. I mean, it's a tough issue when you start thinking about some of these things. Because when you think about 2021 and 2022, CeeDee Lamb of 2021 and 2022 was not the CeeDee Lamb of 2023. And y'all remember what the knock was on Amari Cooper. People kept saying that Amari Cooper was disappearing in big games. People kept saying Amari Cooper was disappearing in big games, and they were saying that was one of the reasons why they let him go. It's tough, man. It's tough all the way around when you look at the Cowboys. But at the end of the day, I still stick with my original premise. You can go and look at every single year of these winning years, and you're going to find a common thing. Somewhere along the way, they were not a balanced team. They either couldn't run and they could either run and not throw, or they could throw and not run. The defense could stop the pass, but the defense couldn't stop the run. When the defense was on, the offense was off. When the offense was on, the defense was off. Just a very imbalanced team. A very imbalanced team. And the reason why they were so imbalanced, this is the first year I can remember since Jimmy Johnson where it seemed like to me the coaching staff was on the same page. It was always like the team wasn't on the same page when they were playing. It was like it was never really a team. It was never really a team. But again, these Cowboys defenses, I'm telling you, man, them things have been fool's gold. These defenses have been fool's gold with the Cowboys, because I challenge anybody. When you go back and look at some of these defenses, did they really look like 5th-ranked defenses? 7th-ranked defenses? Some of those rankings are also because of the schedules we were playing. You think about the NFC East. The NFC East in 2021 and 2022, it was pretty much trash. When you go back and think about this, you play those teams You play those NFC East teams, 6 of those games. We got a lot of our stats against some bad teams. The bad teams count too. You can't help who you play against. But we played bad teams in our division. Dak Prescott has owned the New York Giants. Our defenses have 8 against the Giants, 8 against the Commanders, even 8 against the Philadelphia Eagles in some of those instances. So when you start figuring in, we 8 against the Carolina Panthers in some of those instances. I mean, when you start looking at defensive rank versus what you're seeing on tape, you know when you are seeing the real deal. You know when you're seeing it. And I'm telling you, if we're being honest, even in the 2021 through 2023 year, man, them defenses didn't look like no doggone top 5 defenses. Defense didn't look like no top 7 defenses. Because if those defenses actually were top 5 and top 7 defenses, your quarterback would have barely had to do anything. Because teams wouldn't have been able to score a lot of points on those teams. But it just wasn't the case. It just wasn't the case. But again, you know, kind of what we're putting together now, this is one of the most complete teams we've seen in a while. And I don't think they're done with it yet. It's one of the most complete teams they put together in a while. Ryax, a fan, said Dan Quinn was Sorsby in that playoff loss, man. A lot of people saying that. A lot of people said that, man. Yeah, again, Bernard Fields, your super chat earlier, man, like you said, man, a lot of us knew the teams we had a chance against. And I'm telling you, man, there was those games we were going up against, a lot of us were like, man, we're not going to be able to win this game. Unless, if you start talking about a bunch of ifs, when you start talking about a game, you actually probably don't, you're probably going to lose that game. We haven't had lights out defenses. Troy Aikman played with lights out defenses. Let me show you this, then we're going to listen to the rest of CBS as they start talking about the offense. See if I can pull this up. And again, I'm gonna every time I'm gonna come back with facts. Every single time. I'm gonna show you what it took for Troy Aikman to win the Super Bowl. And this stat right here is very telling. I'm going to show you what it took for Troy Aikman to win the Super Bowl. Because these are the defensive ranks for all of you people, because I know some people are saying, aha, I got you. I'm going to show you I got you. These are the defensive ranks. The defensive rankings of the teams that Dak Prescott has had. Because some of y'all say, those defenses are good enough to win the Super Bowl. You really, you sure? Are y'all sure? Are y'all sure that these defenses were enough to win the Super Bowl? Y'all sure? I want to make sure for all you people, because I know for all of you people who keep saying that Dak Prescott, for all of you people who are saying that these defenses were good enough for Dak Prescott to win the Super Bowl, are y'all saying this? Are y'all saying this? Lil Dallas Cowboys, are you saying that the defenses that Dak Prescott has had were good enough to win the Super Bowl? Are you saying that? I'm going to bring facts every single time. Were those defenses good enough? Well, I'm going to show you now what it took for Troy Aikman to win the Super Bowl. I'm going to show you what it took for Troy Aikman to win the Super Bowl. Are y'all ready? I'm going to let y'all catch up. I'm going to show you what it took for Troy Aikman to win the Super Bowl. I'm going to come back with this argument every single time. Because for every person that criticizes Dak Prescott, we know you're comparing him to Troy Aikman. We know you're comparing him to Troy Aikman. Every time you make that argument, I'm going to destroy it. So we're saying that the defenses that Dak Prescott has had were good enough to win the Super Bowl. Well, I'm going to contend that Troy Aikman isn't winning Super Bowls with those defenses ranked like that. And the reason why I know this, I want y'all to catch up. I want y'all to catch up. Because some of y'all, man, y'all love this Dak Prescott narrative. Y'all love this Dak Prescott narrative. Oh, he's had good enough defenses. Really? Really? So Dak Prescott had good enough defenses. Well, let me show you Troy Aikman's defenses. I'm going to show you Troy Aikman's defenses. When Troy Aikman played on the 24th ranked defense, they were 1-15. When he played on the 15th ranked defense, they were 7-9. When he played on the 17th ranked defense, they were 11-5. And Troy Aikman actually didn't finish that year. But then, when you got to 1992, they had the 5th ranked defense in points allowed, 19th defense in total yards allowed, and this isn't showing it, but in 1992, Troy Aikman played opposite of the number 1 ranked overall defense. That's what it took for Troy Aikman to win the Super Bowl. The number 1 overall ranked defense. Points allowed in 1993. How much you bet you're going to win a whole bunch of Super Bowls like this? Points allowed. You were ranked 2nd in the league. What? Who beating you? Who gonna beat you in 1993? They were 10th in yards allowed. How much you bet they had a lot to do with the run? Wait a minute. Then when you go back to 1995, 3rd points allowed, 3rd total yards allowed. Name me the player on defense that Dak Prescott has ever played with, such as Charles Haley and Deion Sanders. I don't even think people understand what I'm telling them right now. Niecy, from your library knowledge, Niecy, how insane is it that a defense had Charles Haley and Deion Sanders on it at the same time? I don't think people understand what I'm saying. You had Charles Haley and Deion Sanders on the same defense? What? Troy Aikman had incredible defenses, and people who keep looking at Dak Prescott only don't realize this. Troy Aikman played with what you call true top-ranked defenses. Points allowed, yards allowed. You know what this means? In 1992, 93, 94, and 95, they were stopping the run and they were stopping the pass. They were obliterating teams. Look at the amount of points. This is telling you something. Teams couldn't score on them. They had a Hall of Fame defense. I still contend Dak Prescott ain't had them kind of defenses. If you tell me Dak has had them kind of defenses, you ain't watched the Dallas Cowboys play. Dak has never had a defense like Troy played with. Nope. That defense in 92, number 1 overall. Number 1 overall. You were not beating that defense. We ain't played on no defense. We ain't played no defense like that. Niecy, you hit it right on the head. Deion could have rested and they still had great backups. Insanity. I don't think people understand. This is why I have to keep putting people in remembrance. They don't understand how great the teams were, Troy Aikman. That ain't taking nothing away from Troy. I'm just telling us we don't realize how great the teams were. And I'm not just talking players. I'm talking teams. I'm talking the coaches. I'm talking the front office. I'm talking Jerry. I'm talking just the cohesiveness of the team. Dak Prescott has never played on a team like that yet. We're going to see. They're trying to get there. They ain't never played. Dak's never played on a team. There are very few quarterbacks that have ever played on a team like that. I'm going to tell you something. Jalen Hurts got close. That Super Bowl team Jalen Hurts played on, it's pretty close. I am telling us we don't understand what it has taken for Troy Aikman to win Super Bowls. When they didn't go to the Super Bowl in '94, Jerry Jones went and got Deion Sanders. I don't think people understand what it means when you say you went and got Deion Sanders in his prime. What? Deion Sanders is the best cornerback to ever play the game. He is the best cornerback to play the game. Not to mention it was a non-salary cap era. You could pay what you wanted to pay. Non-salary cap era. I don't think people understand what it requires to win a Super Bowl. And I'm going to tell you this. Jerry hasn't done it yet, but it looks like he's doing it. He hadn't done it yet. He hadn't done it yet. You're not going to see these types of numbers. I'm just telling you, he hasn't done it yet. He absolutely hasn't. Now, Jerry is working on it. I'm going to give Jerry credit. Jerry is absolutely working on it. And I think he's going to get there. Frank Lawrence, every single time. Coaching matters. Every single time. Michael Lee said, gee, the third string players was good on the 90s team. Mark Schlereth said, Michael Lee, and I quote, Mark Schlereth said when they played the Cowboys in the 90s, he said there was a game, and he said he looked over at the Dallas Cowboys. He said he looked at the Dallas Cowboys warming up. Mark Schlereth said they didn't have a starter on their team better than the Dallas Cowboys backup. And I'm paraphrasing. Mark Schlereth said the Cowboys backups were better than their starters. What is that telling you? Their backups? Their backups were better than the Washington Commanders starters? I don't think people understand what it takes to win Super Bowls. I don't think people understand, man. Because I know when people talk about this, they're comparing Dak Prescott to Troy Aikman. But when you go back and compare Troy Aikman's teams to Dak Prescott teams, you're not comparing apples to apples, bro. You comparing apples to the moon. You're not even comparing apples to apples. You're just not doing that. You're not doing it. Those teams were incredible. Troy Aikman played on. I'm not telling you Troy Aikman wasn't great. I think you have to be a certain kind of individual to even be the quarterback of a team like that. So Troy Aikman was great. I'm not telling you Troy Aikman wasn't great. But I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that the teams that he played on wasn't great. Man, Troy Aikman played on some absolutely great, historically great teams. Historically great teams. Dak hasn't played on a historically great team yet. But with the personnel that they're building, I'm feeling real good. Because it seems like they're on to something. It's like they're building. They're on their way to building what could be one of those teams. And this is why everybody now who keeps talking about the Cowboys, they keep talking about defense. Defense. Why? Bear Bryant said it best. Offense scores points. Defense wins championships. Yeah. Kalen said, what was Troy without the team? Kalen, I've already shown it. Kalen, people don't realize Troy Aikman's entire career is built on 4 seasons. Because when you look at him outside of them 4 seasons and maybe 5, when you look at Troy outside of them 5 seasons, boy, you looking almost, it's like when you look at Troy outside of them 5 seasons, it's like you're looking at 2 different quarterbacks. Straight up. It does. Like you're looking at two separate quarterbacks. All right. This is now them talking about the Cowboys offense.
Out of the ball, because there is concerns at left tackle with what they have there, and Tyler Guyton, the former first-round pick. And we heard Brian Schottenheimer say it's going to be a wide-open competition, in part because Guyton has struggled to stay healthy. He had the concussion and the knee injury going into last season, had the high ankle sprain that ended this season early. So there's going to be competition in that position. It's going to be Nate Thomas who's going to have an opportunity to win that job, the 2024 7th-round pick. Ideally, you don't want to move Tyler Smith, the other former first-rounder who plays inside. We know they have in Tyler Booker. So the offensive line has a chance to be really good, but you have to stay healthy at left tackle, and you have to play more consistently. And whether that's Guyton or Nate Thomas, we'll find out. But that's primarily outside of George Pickens pretending like he's back in Pittsburgh. Those are my only offensive concerns. And I think Garrett's exactly right about the defensive side of the ball, Jacqueline.
So you know what?
Yeah. See, this is the defensive matter. It's the bottom line. Let me read this great comment from L Jr. Super Chat. Appreciate that Super Chat. This is a great comment. He said Dak hasn't ever had a good defense. It's always been average at best with some sack leads here and there, but never top 5 with run stop. That's the point right there. L, those defenses, they were fool's gold. They were predicated upon Micah Parsons wreaking havoc, helping cause turnovers, different things of that matter. One year that defense had a whole bunch of turnovers. We remember DeRon Bland, 6 pick sixes. I mean, if you don't think that makes your defense look good, it actually makes your defense look a lot better than it really is. Because what happened to the Cowboys is Dan Quinn's defenses were designed to play with leads. If the Cowboys could get a lead on you, they'd pin their ears back, unleash Micah Parsons, and he would wreak havoc. Problem is when we played the good teams, they ran at him. And that became their Achilles heel. The good teams ran at Micah Parsons. They didn't run away from him. They ran at him. So it was so many issues with those teams. And that's why even in 2023, when everybody was acting like the Cowboys were about to coast to the Super Bowl, I didn't think so. I'm telling you, me and my uncle, we were having a serious Cowboys. If they stop the run, and if they do, man, if it was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. Crazy Cowboys 72. He said, people of all kind, please stop comparing Aikman and Dak's defenses, please. Thank you. No comparison. Crazy Cowboys 72. We knew when we looked at the Cowboys defense in 92, 93, we knew, that's a top 5 defense. We knew looking at the tape. Cowboys looking at the tape, you didn't think those were top 5 defenses. Michael Postel said Dak Prescott just needs a good defense. That's it. And that's why everybody keeps saying it. That's why everybody keeps saying it.
But guys, I always love when we get this underrated player, somebody that pops in the middle of the season that we just weren't expecting. So Ryan, who is a player that's under the radar that you're going to be watching for the Dallas Cowboys?
I will now go to the defensive side of the ball, Jack. I'm going to go with Jason Barham, the 3rd-round pick out of Michigan. He started as an off-ball linebacker at Maryland, transferred to Michigan where he played off-ball. Then they moved him to edge rush last year, in part because of athletic versatility, in part because they needed help there. And he is freakishly athletic, and that's probably...
Yeah, see, Little Down, Texas, you're really making the point here. See, when you get a bunch of turnovers and things of that nature, that really makes your defense look better. This is one of the things that hurt the Cowboys defense. This is one of the things that hurt the Cowboys defense this year was a lack of turnovers. But there are so many things that help make a defense look better than it is. I don't know if that's the point you're making, but our defenses look better than they were because of Micah Parsons with sacks, Trayvon Diggs 1 year with a bunch of picks and some touchdowns, DeRon Bland, bunch of picks and some touchdowns. Those things make your defense look better than it is. But the real numbers, when we start talking about your defense, the real numbers we need to be looking at is you versus the run. How many points are you allowing per game? Those are the things we really need to be looking at. Because that's the real tale of the tape to say how good you are in the trenches. Because trenches is what truly wins championships. Defensive tackles. What's your defensive tackle play? What's your offensive tackle play? Those things matter. But again, hey, D. Cuz Worley in the building. Again, they're talking about under-the-radar players. He said that his under-the-radar player is Jayshawn Barham. Who is y'all under-the-radar player? I'm still going to say, for me, the under-the-radar player for the Dallas Cowboys defense, for me, it has to be Rashawn Gary. People are underestimating Rashawn Gary on such a level. I mean, people acting like Rashawn Gary is nothing.
Underselling it. So it looks like now, and Garrett can confirm, but it looks like now they're going to try him again at off-ball linebacker, where they have had depth concerns when Overshown has struggled to stay healthy. If he's healthy and then you get Barham hitting his athleticism on the field at the same time, again, that's another arrow pointing up situation for a defense that's thriving to be average. And I think Barham, along with the other first-round picks and Downs and Malachi Lawrence, certainly helped them get closer to that.
Yeah, Ryan, you're exactly right on Barham. The plan for him is going to be off-ball linebacker with kind of mixing him in as a third down blitzer, pass rusher type potentially down the road. One more note about Barham is he actually challenged Dallas Morning News reporter Joe Hoyt to do the Oklahoma drill, which is where two guys line up in the hole and just crash right into each other. So this guy's intensity is off the charts. That was at rookie minicamp, his first few days being a Cowboy. He was ready to say anytime, anywhere, let's go. So the Cowboys are certainly excited about what he can bring as a rookie this season.
And Garrett, what about you? Who is somebody that you're eyeing as a under-the-radar player?
My under-the-radar player is wide receiver Ryan Flournoy. He's coming into his third year. He's a sixth-round pick a couple years ago out of Southeast Missouri State. He's somebody, we talked about George Pickens. We talked about CeeDee Lamb a lot. But Flournoy, he kind of popped a couple times last year when CeeDee Lamb was out of the lineup. Week 5 against the Jets, he goes for over 100 yards. Thursday Night Football late in the season against the Lions. Lamb gets a concussion.
My under-the-radar player on defense is Rashawn Gary. I'm going to give you my offense. Poobie D, he said his under-the-radar player is LT Overton or Caleb Downs. He said that's who his under-the-radar player is. I'm going to give you my under-the-radar player, offensive player. Y'all tell me who y'all's are. My under-the-radar offensive player is Michael Trigg. Michael Trigg. I really think Michael Trigg is going to be a bigger deal than people believe. Michael Trigg. Bulky Cowboys Celtics, he said under the radar G, Revel Jr. Yeah, if it wasn't for his ACL, he probably would be gone first. I agree. Fred Walker, what up? He said, I look at linebacker play. When was the last time we had an adequate linebacker group? Please don't say last year. I agree. I agree with you. Gerald Thompson, he said, I'll be watching Thompson on defense, checking for Blue on offense. Ooh, forgot about Jaden Blue. Yeah. Thompson is my favorite free agent pickup, Gerald. My favorite. Frank Lawrence, yeah, you with me on Michael Trigg. Tommy Solo, did you say scatty ball? Gregory Hicks, he said Trigg. Yeah, 70s show, he said Jaden Blue. Bernard said Trigger Main. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, Crazy Cowboy 72. Phil Moffitt. That's a good one, too, man. That's a good one. Quinn said Blue. Rico said Phil Moffitt. Yeah. Thomas, let me tell you something, Thomas. If Overshown stays healthy, Thomas, I'm going to tell us something crazy right now. Overshown could actually play himself off this team this year. Overshown could actually play himself off this team. Man, if Overshown has a huge season, Cowboys going to have some serious contracts to do next year. Quinnen Williams, George Pickens, and Overshown. Man, let me tell you something. If Overshown stays healthy, I believe he'll be a top 5 linebacker. And I believe the Cowboys defense, not only will it be a top 7 defense, top 7, let's say top 15. Not only will it be a top 15 defense, it'll look like a top 15 to top 10 defense by the end of the year because they will be stopping the run and they will be causing havoc on quarterbacks. Yeah, Overshown. I can see Overshown. Yeah. Postel, he said winners. D winners. Oh, that's another good one. Yeah. And Ryan Flanoy. Poobie D said Trigg. Yup. Trigg. Lynn said Trigg. Yup. Yep. I think Trigg about to push. Boy, I think Trigg about to push Ferg in places he ain't never been pushed before, man. So I think he about to push this man in places he ain't never been before, man. But yeah, those are some good ones, man.
Pickens has an off game. Flanoy catches a touchdown, goes for over 100. And on the last day of mandatory minicamp, Brian Schottenheimer said, quote, the sky's the limit for him. And he's somebody that we see drawing up plays to get him the ball this season. So obviously there's a lot of mouths to feed in Dallas between Pickens, Lamb, running back Javonte Williams off a great year, tight end Jake Ferguson, who's made a Pro Bowl. But for me, Flanoy, being that number 3 pass catcher, I think is an under-the-radar guy who won't be under the radar much longer in Dallas.
All right, what about the biggest position battle, Ryan? I know we talked about a battle at left tackle, but what's the biggest position battle for you?
Ron Cooper, he said breaking news, under the radar, Dak Prescott. I feel you on that. I like that, Veron. What's up? Quinn. Yeah, Maurice. Let me tell you something. Whew. Yeah, Maurice. Yeah, I can see that one. That's a good one. Tico, he says, running back situation in Dallas. I think they're rolling with Blue, Maffa, and Williams. Brandy, what's up? That's one of the stories for the day. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Yeah.
For the Cowboys.
I think, Jacqueline, one of them is actually cornerback, which is kind of weird to say for the Cowboys, just because suddenly there's some depth on that side of the ball. They drafted Suvon Revel last year, coming off the ACL out of ECU. He's going to compete. Kobe Durant, who they drafted, has a chance to start. And we know what he did when he was with the Rams there. Durant Bland, as we heard Garrett mention a moment ago. Devin Moore, the long, physical cornerback they drafted out of Florida a few months ago. This is potentially a good problem to have for a Cowboys team who has struggled with depth defensively the last few years. So it's going to be fun to find out who wins this competition with the understanding that the players behind them also provide some much needed depth if, as we've seen in recent seasons, a player in front of them goes down because of injury concerns.
Wow. You know what? I think he just made a great point. You know, because I'm struggling. I'm sorry. I don't believe Guyton is in a position battle. You know, come on, man. Nate Thomas is not as good. If Nate Thomas is good as Tyler Guyton, Nate Thomas should not be starting. No, the Cowboys need to go get them a new left tackle. Stop it. Stop it. If Nate Thomas beat out Guyton, no, go get you another left tackle. I don't think that, you know, I do think, because we all have said we got some questions about the cornerback situation with the Cowboys defensively, this guy's probably right. This is probably the biggest position battle in the Cowboys camp. Because you got, and a lot of people may not realize this. I'm sorry, but I think the run blend is in a battle this year. I believe the run blend is in a cornerback battle. Kobe Durant, I think he's going to be a starter. But at the same time, Savon Revel Jr. is going to be on the field. He's going to be challenging for one of those cornerback spots. And if Devin Moore can stay healthy, we may be looking at the Dallas Cowboys cornerbacks of the future. Devin Moore and Savon Revel Jr. Devin Moore and Savon Revel Jr. They are going to push the run blend. Yeah. I'm telling you. Don't think for a second that this thing with the run blend isn't a big deal. Yep, the Cowboys paid the run blend, but they can get from up under that contract next season. This is a battle for the future of the cornerback position in Dallas. This is going to be, I agree, this is going to be the biggest battle. Cornerback. Because when you think about all the other positions on the Cowboys team, I mean, let's just be real. We pretty much already know who the linebackers are. Maurice Leofau is the underdog. He's going to be battling for his life. I think Maurice Leofau is just in a bad situation. He's found himself third on the depth chart. He kind of came in before the new regime. They went and drafted people in his position. Maurice Leofau is going to be battling for his life on this team. The linebacker situation is pretty much set. The defensive line situation, it's pretty much set. We already know it's Quinnen, Kenny, Bullard, Otito. It's already set. The linebacker situation, barring injury, it's already set. Unless we bring in Jordan Brooks, I'm still praying for Jordan Brooks. But if you think about it, D. Winters, Overshown, Rashawn Gary, Donovan Ezeraku, you already know what the linebacker situation is. All of this stuff we know pretty much, it's set. The biggest position battle on this team, cornerback. Yeah, cornerback, it really is. And it's important that that's the biggest position battle because that's where most of us got our questions. Cornerback. When you think about the Cowboys roster, we'll look at it before we get out of here, but when you look at the Cowboys roster, man, the people who are, we say competition every day, but let's just be real. I believe this roster is pretty much set, first and second string. There may be just a couple of second string, maybe, but I think even second string, we're really, the players on this team has gotten to a point that people are really battling for just maybe 10 spots in their third string positions. That just goes to show you what the Cowboys have done in free agency and now what they've done in the draft. We're going to look at that roster right after this last point from CBS.
All right, it is season prediction time. And again, there is some hype around this team because if the defense, based off of what we saw, the guys that they drafted can step up and it just gets to average, the offense is looking pretty good with Dak and CeeDee and George Pickens. So, Garrett, when you're looking at the schedule, albeit it's not a cakewalk, what do you think the schedule is going to be when it is all said and done for the Cowboys?
It's a phenomenal question, Jacqueline. We've talked about expectations for these Cowboys before. I had a chance to speak with Dak Prescott at his foundation gala last Friday, and he was asked, do Super Bowl expectations feel more realistic this year based on all the defensive changes we've made? And he said, yeah, they do. He has a lot of faith in Caleb Downs. Those two gone golfing, and he's been blown away by Downs' preparation on and off the field. And I do believe that with complete offensive continuity, Brian Schottenheimer, year 2 is the play caller, OC Clayton Adams, year 2 in his respective role, everyone back on the field offensively, that with just a mediocre to average defense, this could very well be an 11-win team that's competing till the end of the season with the Philadelphia Eagles for the division title before winning 11 games and being one of the top wild cards in the NFL's best conference.
Okay, and Ryan is right there with you, also predicting an 11-6 season. Garrett, Ryan, we certainly appreciate it. We got our fingers crossed for the Cowboys, and hopefully it'll be a very different outcome this season that we've seen recently. Both the guys liking the Cowboys to get 11 wins. Right now, the win total is at 9.5, and again, they like them to go over that. 2-1 to win the NFC East, to make the playoffs, plus 100. Win the NFC, 13-1, and win a Super Bowl, 25-1 for the Dallas Cowboys. We'll be right back.
It's incredible, man. I'm telling you, man, everybody is saying the same thing about the Cowboys. And it's really a testimony to what the Cowboys have done with their offense. It's a testimony. Man, let me tell you something. I have got to commend Jerry Jones again. I got to commend Jerry Jones and Brian Schottenheimer. People don't realize it. George Pickens was a Super Bowl move. George Pickens was a Super Bowl move. This Super Bowl run started last year when they hired Shotty. It started when they got Booker, traded Parsons, let go of Diggs. It started when they got Pickens. I mean, all of this, we're gonna look back and realize how all of this has been a part of a Super Bowl move. George Pickens solidified this offense to where there's no questions. George Pickens solidified the pecking order. That you know, one of the biggest problems for a team is, okay, we got a great starting first wide receiver. Who is our number 2 wide receiver? The Cowboys said, no, we're going to get 2 number 1 wide receivers so that our 3rd wide receiver, who could possibly be a 2nd wide receiver, as in Ryan Flanoy, coming on. If Ryan Flanoy can step up and be a number 2, and you got 2 number 1s, Super Bowl combination. And if Michael Trigg do what I'm thinking he's going to do, I think Michael Trigg is going to push this tight end room to the brink, to the point of, can Schoonmaker make it? Again, they all keep saying, if the offense can just be average. If the offense can just be average. That's saying a lot about how good this offense is. That if the defense can be average. 11-6. Poobie D said his thoughts are 11-6. But what if they're not average? What if they're not average? What if by the end of the year, they become better than average? First things first, D-Cuz Worley said it. First things first, Cowboys got to worry about winning the division. Win the division, no matter what. Win the division. Once you get a firm hold on the division, now you start going for seeding, wins, seeding. The Cowboys, what if their defense is better than average by the end of the season? I'm telling us, and I told y'all this before, we'll see if I'm wrong, but I'm telling us, when I went back and looked at that Dallas Cowboys schedule, I don't know what some folks are seeing, and maybe they see better than me. I'm just telling you what I see. The Cowboys are set up to succeed. They are set up for a playoff run. I'm going to show it to you before we go to Chase Top 10. But I told you I was going to show you this roster real quick. The Dallas Cowboys roster We're not really battling for a lot of positions on this roster contrary to what we may think. There's not a lot of roster battles on this thing. Unless somebody just comes out if somebody just comes out of nowhere and starts balling. But when you look at our offensive line, if Nate Thomas truly challenges Tyler Guyton, we got a bigger problem than we thought. If Nate Thomas beats out Tyler Guyton, no, you better go get that guy from the Detroit Lions, or you better go out there and trade for a left tackle. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be convinced that if Nate Thomas beats out Tyler Guyton, that means that he's really that good. No, I'm afraid. We need to go get a left tackle. I don't think he's beating Tyler Guyton. I don't think this is a real battle people are talking about. Terrence Steele. This isn't a battle yet with him and Drew Shelton. This will be a battle next year with him and Drew Shelton. It's not a battle this year. But when we look offensively, there's no position battles. Who's challenging Pickens and Lamb? I don't even think these receivers back here are challenging Ryan Flanoy. They're not challenging Ryan Flanoy. I think Ryan Flanoy is better than Marquez Valdez-Scantling, the new draft pick Anthony Smith. He's a better wide receiver than Turpin, better than Mingo. I like Trayshawn Holden. He's not better than Ryan Flanoy. Unless he shows us something in camp, he's not better than Ryan Flanoy. And then when I get back here, I ain't even thinking about all this back here. I'm not even thinking about all this back here. But when you start talking about position battles, we're not battling for first and second string. We're talking about battling for third string and special teams. When you look offensively, this isn't a real battle. I'm not believing Nate Thomas and Tyler Guyton is a real battle. If that's a real battle, Tyler Guyton is failing. Nate Thomas isn't excelling. Tyler Guyton is failing if Nate Thomas beats out Tyler Guyton. I'm sorry. There's no battle at the quarterback position. There's no battle at the running back position. I don't think Jaden Blue and Phil Maffa are battling anything. They're just going to be a part of the plan. Now, this could be a real position battle. Sam Howell and Joe Milton. Yep, that's probably a battle. Joe Milton, Sam Howell. That's probably a battle. But if Joe Milton has progressed, he will probably beat Joe Milton. We're going to see. But if he's progressed, he will beat Sam Howell. Joe Milton will beat him. And the Cowboys gave up something for Joe Milton. So I think advantage Joe Milton. But he's going to have to show something. I don't think there's a real battle in the running back room. The Cowboys have already shown how they feel about Malik Davis. They obviously feel like there's something missing. Because if not, he would already be second string. Don't think there's a battle. I think Jaden Blue, Phil Maffa is the plan. I don't consider those to be major battles. Even when we look defensively, this is all set. First string, all set. Second string, let me see here. Second string, maybe Sam Williams, Shamar James. I don't think Sam Williams is going to beat that. Even if he were to beat Shamar James, I still think they would keep Shamar James. The real battle, when you look at this list, it's the cornerback room. That's the battle I'll be looking for on this team. That's the real battle. I see no other battle that is going to be bigger and better than the cornerback. Deron Bland, he might not realize it now, but he's battling. Devin Moore, I'm not believing this stuff on Kalen Carson. I'm just not believing it. If anything, Josh Butler going to be battling Kalen Carson because I ain't believing in Kalen Carson. Somebody got to show me something on that. I ain't believing that. Kobe Durant, Savon Revel Jr., he's getting on the field. Savon Revel Jr. is getting on the field. But in the grand scheme of things, when you look at this Cowboys roster in reality, there's actually not a lot of real position battles because they drafted so well. What they did in free agency, you pretty much know what 80% of this roster already is, barring injuries. I think these guys are going to make each other better. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't think there's any real position battles because they've just done a really good job of drafting in free agency over the last 2 seasons. Miss Matrix said, how are y'all making these predictions? She said, y'all see it better than PG. Hey, Miss Matrix, now we just talking about on paper right now. Now, Miss Matrix, I'm going to tell you up front, if the Rams come out in Oxnard, California, and they do the same thing they did to us last year, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you the truth. That's all I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you the truth. They better not come in here battling us like that. But again, Frank Lawrence said Jay Sean Barber's nickname is Killer. Need more guys like him. I think we're about to see if we got some more guys like him too. I do. Lee Will, he said, buy Super Bowl moves, you mean buying tickets to spectate? No, I mean buy players that can get you there. Quinnen Williams, Super Bowl move. If any other team, let me tell you something, Lee Will. If any other team would have got Quinnen Williams, you know what everybody would be saying? Fill in the blank team got Quinnen Williams. If the Rams would have got Quinnen Williams, whoa, Super Bowl move. If the Seahawks would have got Quinnen Williams, oh, Super Bowl move. If the Philadelphia Eagles would have got Quinnen Williams, oh, watch out. We get Quinnen Williams, everybody say, oh, he ain't that good. I mean, he all right. I mean, shoot. You know, he all right. He all right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we've made Super Bowl moves. Problem is you don't know Super Bowl moves or Super Bowl moves until you win the Super Bowl. But then when you win, you go, yeah, those Super Bowl moves. But I think we've already made moves, and we're going to continue to make moves. Michael Postel, I agree with you. We need Jordan Brooks. We need Jordan Brooks. Gerald, man, they got Oso Diggy people were talking him up. Man. Matt D, let me tell you something. Hunter Lipke, I don't know if he was necessarily an experiment. I just think he was a good player. The Cowboys said he's a good player, let's take him. And they don't know what the heck to do with him. They don't know what the heck to do with this guy, man. It really takes a Sean Payton type of guy. I'll just be honest with you. I just think it takes a Sean Payton type of OC to really deal with a guy like Hunter Lipke. I really do. All right, let me show you one last thing that we're going to move on and get through the rest of our segments. Miss Matrix, you asked me, what are we seeing? I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing. This Cowboys schedule, we're going to see how this looks when the season starts. But when you look at this Cowboys schedule, a lot of people said this schedule was hard, but I don't think this schedule is hard. In actuality, I think they've set the Cowboys up to succeed. I really believe they have set the Cowboys up to succeed. You play the Giants September 13th, Sunday night. This is going to be a win. Unless something just goes wrong. I believe the Cowboys are beating the Giants in New York. Harbaugh is about 2 seasons away from winning. He ain't ready for this smoke. He ain't ready for this smoke yet, man. He ain't ready for this smoke. He ain't got the squad to be ready yet. Watch the Commanders. Dan Quinn's on the hot seat. I can tell you this. I don't think they're beating Dallas in Dallas. Don't be surprised if they start out 2-0, because I'll be surprised if they don't start out 2-0. Baltimore Ravens. Well, we're going to see what this is. They got a brand new head coach. Got a whole lot of new things in place. Where I would have thought last year they would have knocked the Cowboys off again. We're going to see what it looks like in Rio de Janeiro. But I can see the Cowboys winning that one. If they lose, okay, they lost it, but I can see the Cowboys winning that one. I'm going to tell you about this Cowboys-Texans game, where this defense for the Texans, it's really good. It's Super Bowl level. It's top 3, top 4. C.J. Stroud, I got to see what he is, because C.J. Stroud has been awful. C.J. Stroud has been awful. He literally cost them the playoffs last year. Has C.J. Stroud even played average, they probably go to the Super Bowl. The defense was good enough. I'm struggling with C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud got to show something. Buccaneers, it's going to be a tough game, but it's in Dallas. I'm giving Dallas the edge on that one. So if you look at the first 5 games, Cowboys should easily be 4-1, 3-2. Green Bay Packers. Got to go to Green Bay. We're going to see what their personnel look like. Think it's going to be a very good game. Let's say the Cowboys lose that one. Even then, in the first 6 games, you're looking at what? 4-2, 3-3. I'm telling y'all right now, I'm going to tell you again. This stretch right here is going to define the Cowboys season. And I'm calling it the Philly to Philly section. This is going to define the Cowboys season. You got 6 games before you play Philly. Can you be 4-2? You have, let's see, that is 6 games, and then you have 5 remaining after Philly. If you can go 4-2 in the first 6, Philly is going to be a tough game in Philly. But I believe with Christian Parker, we're gonna sweep them. Cardinals, I don't know. Cowboys keep having problems with the Cardinals. I really believe they should beat them this year. They got a brand new head coach. Surely they can beat them. Colts, I don't know. We'll see. What is his name? Dandy Dimes or whatever it is. We're going to see how he looks coming off that Achilles. I'm excited about the 49ers game. Got it circled. I believe the Cowboys will beat the 49ers. Come on, I'm not even playing with the Titans. Please, got to beat the Titans. We'll beat Philly in Dallas. From Philly to Philly, the Cowboys need to win 5 of 6. This will define the season. They can't even go 3-3 in this stretch. From Philly to Philly, they must win 5 of those games. 4 minimum. Minimum, they must win 4. But I believe they must win 5. You win 5 here. You win 3 or 4 here. Then you come down the backside and you win 3 of the 2. Yeah, I think you in there. I think you are in there. You're going to be in there probably with 11 to 12 wins. But this is the stretch right here. You got to dominate in this stretch. You're playing the Eagles twice. I believe the Eagles are on the decline. You better beat the Arizona Cardinals. They're just not good. The Colts, they can run the ball. If the Cowboys can run the ball, they're going to beat the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, if the Cowboys can stop the run, they're going to beat the Indianapolis Colts. Cam Ward, he's coming along. Still don't think they're going to be ready. The only game I'm circling in this stretch is the 49ers. I'm circling that one. But from Philly to Philly, come on, you can win 5 of those. From Philly to Philly, you can win 5 of those. You win 5 of those. You got the Rams and the Seahawks both on the road, but you got big breaks in between both of those games. Book it. I don't believe both of these teams will beat the Cowboys. I do not believe both of these teams will beat the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys will either beat the Seahawks or the Rams. They will beat one of these teams. You watch what I tell you. They're not losing both of those games. They got huge breaks in between both of these games. They're going to win one of these games. Book it. They will win one. Then we'll see what the Jaguars are looking like there towards the, what they'll be looking like next season. They won 13 games, if I'm not mistaken, last season. So we'll see if they turn it on a little bit. But then when you come to the Giants and the Commanders, I'm not worried about them. The Cowboys are going to own the NFC East. I believe they win the NFC East this year. And the reason why I say this schedule is set up to succeed is because of the long breaks they're going to give the Cowboys. Look at how many games they're playing in December. The Cowboys are only playing 3 games in December. They're only playing 3 games. Humongous breaks, man. Humongous breaks. This schedule is set up to succeed. It is set up to succeed.
Yo, G, bless him.
It is. Absolutely. Angie the Rebel Chicks. I was getting ready to contact you on X. I'm about to contact you on X, see what's been going on with you. Everybody's been missing you, Angie. I know life been lifing, so I ain't gonna be hard on you. I know life be lifing. I'm sure something's been going on. How's everything going? I ain't gonna even ask you where you been. I'm just gonna ask you how you doing. How you doing, Angie the Rebel Chicks? Pray all is well with you. I pray all is well. Let us know how you doing. Everybody's been concerned. All right. So that's kind of where I am with the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are set up to succeed. Yes, Grizz said 9 and 8. We're going to see. We're going to see now. We're going to see Grizz. All right. Let's move over to a couple of these quick picks. Quick picks real quick. Waiting on Angie to tell us how she doing. All right, let's hit a couple of quick hits.
Yeah! Here we go!
All right, Chase Daniels took back to X. And Chase Daniels, once again, is talking about, I believe he's talking about the top 10 quarterbacks. Yeah, he gives his top 10 quarterbacks. I'm very interested to hear this. I actually hadn't listened to it yet. All right, let's see who his top 10 quarterbacks are. Ooh, let's see.
All right, ESPN ranked the top 10 quarterbacks going into the 2026 season, ranked by executives, coaches, and scouts. What in the world is this list? All right, so the list came out early this week. It was ranked by executives, coaches, and scouts. Number 1 spot, not Patrick Mahomes. A little bit wild, but I would agree with this that Josh Allen has been playing at an unbelievably high level. There's a ton of pressure on the Bills and Josh this year to succeed. Number 2, Patrick Mahomes. They're sort of in the same tier. I still think he's probably the best quarterback in the NFL. And then Matthew Stafford, obviously MVP. You could really rank those 3 interchangeable. Here's where it gets a little interesting. Okay, Joe Burrow, number 4. He's been hurt half the season.
Now, I'm going to tell you why I have a serious problem. Okay, Angie, you said you just been on vacation from the Cowboys. All right, that's good. Hey, everybody need a break sometime. All right, been on vacation. Well, I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're back. Your input is always appreciated and needed. Glad you're back. All right. Absolutely glad you're back. Now, let me tell you where I got a problem with this whole thing that Chase Daniels just said. So Matthew Stafford has a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes got Super Bowls. And Josh Allen don't even have a Super Bowl, has not been to. I'm struggling with Josh Allen because Josh Allen has made, people talk about Dak Prescott. Man, Josh Allen has made some huge mistakes and is the reason why his team has not won in the playoffs. I got a problem with him having Josh Allen saying he's number 1. I'm struggling. I'm not giving you the number 1 quarterback spot with no Super Bowl. I'm not doing it. I'm not giving you the Super Bowl. I'm not giving you the number 1 nod with no Super Bowl when it's not the team, it's you. You've been part of the reason of the failure of the teams. The man got Sean McDermott fired. I just can't buy him being number one.
Since he's been a starter, he's been hurt. Bengals have a really easy schedule. There's a lot of stuff going on with Joe. I think he's still got two of the best receivers in the game. Excited to go.
Look, D-Tex, boy, you got me rolling over here, boy. He said, calm down. He said you're going to like TD Jakes by next year. Dak throwing interception. boy. Nah, I'm calm, man. It's just me, man. It's funny to me. How in the world? I can't put Josh Allen at number one. He hasn't won a Super Bowl.
And watch what they're able to do. But then this is where it gets a little interesting. Lamar Jackson. First of all, Lamar Jackson's number 5 right here, which, okay, sure. But in the rankings, okay, if you go a little bit deeper, there's some people that ranked him as unranked. They didn't even have him in the top 10 quarterbacks. Also, NFL players ranked him 69 or 67, whatever it was. He was 2 last year.
Chase, you know, hey, Chase Daniels, I love you. Bruh, there's a reason why people's confidence has went down on Lamar Jackson. Now, let's think about Dak Prescott. When we talk about Dak Prescott, we can say some things about Dak Prescott that actually make sense. Dak Prescott, the coaching, since Dak Prescott has been there, it really hasn't been great. We can talk about the teams hasn't been great. We can talk about the defenses haven't been complete. We can talk about so many things. But Lamar Jackson, you know what Mark is against Lamar Jackson? He's got a Super Bowl winning coach in John Harbaugh. And a lot of people are saying the reason why Harbaugh hasn't went to a Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson is because we can all remember Lamar Jackson throwing interceptions in the end zone to end playoff games. Yeah. I know why players are saying it, and I know why they're doing that to Lamar Jackson. It's obvious. No, this dude has not only had the coaching. Lamar Jackson has had the coaching. Lamar Jackson has had the defenses. He has been the reason. If you go back and look at some of the turnovers Dak Prescott has committed, first half turnovers. If you go back and look at some of the turnovers Lamar Jackson has committed, crucial moment interceptions and turnovers in crucial moments. We're talking game-ending turnovers. Lamar Jackson, that's why the players are doing it. You better believe that's why the players are doing it. The players, the executives, the scouts, everybody. They're not saying Lamar Jackson isn't talented. They're talking about quarterback play.
2 to 6. Do you think he just forgot how to play ball? Yeah, he didn't have a great year. He's grown as a passer. I really like it. Here's the most interesting thing about the entire list is Dak Prescott at number 6. Finally getting the due he deserves in the show. It is, I'm telling you, I'm a huge Dak Prescott fan. One of the few dying breeds of a true pocket passer in this league. Played unbelievable. Finally getting credit. I think that's great. Justin Herbert's an interesting one. Played with him for 2 years. To be number 7, this is executives, coaches, and scouts. They still think he can break through.
Yeah, if man. Yeah. We know who we talking about. We know why he on that list. If man. I mean, if the moon is at the right position, if the stars line up, okay. Gotcha.
Gotta get a playoff win, though. There's no more excuses. Mike McDaniel's going to do a great job with them. Drake May making his debut. I think that's awesome. Jared Goff, number 9, steady as they go. Here's the interesting one, too. Caleb Williams and the Bears.
Very interesting.
Okay, Caleb Williams is number 10. It was between Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, and Jordan Love. And Caleb Williams made the spot. It's really because his fourth quarter come from behind wins. It's just, it's crazy. Tell me if you agree with this list.
That's
or not.
it.
All right,
Yeah, we've already struggled with that list, Chase Daniels. We like the fact that Chase Daniels gave us part 2 on that. The other day, he broke down why Dak Prescott is a top 5 quarterback. Yeah, he broke that down for us the other day, so I appreciate that, Chase Daniels. Yeah, great segment there on Chase Daniels. But again, yeah, Catherine and Kiss, I agree, championship games. And I'm still struggling, though, with Josh Allen because I'm just struggling with Josh Allen. Turnover machine. But again, the problem with Lamar Jackson, we have watched Lamar Jackson, man. At crucial moments where his team is in the go-ahead drive. Whew. Tough. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you. I think Lamar Jackson needs to go to a new team. I know Baltimore Ravens fans don't want to hear that, but I think Lamar Jackson needs to go to a new team. Kyle Shanahan would win Super Bowls. Kyle Shanahan would win Super Bowls with Lamar Jackson. Kyle Shanahan will win Super Bowls. I'm just telling you. This is the same thing that happened to Michael Vick. Michael Vick went to Andy Reid too late. If Andy Reid would have got Michael Vick before he got into the dog situation, if Andy Reid would have had Michael Vick, I'm sorry. Y'all think Patrick Mahomes has won Super Bowls? Man, I'm gonna tell you something. I would never draft a quarterback as short as Michael Vick, except for Michael Vick. That's it. Michael Vick. I don't think people understand how incredible Michael Vick was. And for as good as Lamar Jackson is, he is a phenomenal athlete. Man, you just had to see Michael Vick. Michael Vick could flick. Just with the flick of a wrist, he's left-handed, of course. Flick of a wrist, 80 yards. No problem. The quickness, the speed on the football field. I don't care if Lamar Jackson runs a faster 40. Michael Vick looked faster. That's all I'm telling you, man. Had Andy Reid got a hold of Michael Vick before the dog incident, boy, I'm sorry Michael Vick would have been one of the greatest quarterbacks we ever seen in our life. I'm telling you, Michael Vick was incredible. Absolutely, Michael Vick was incredible. Lamar Jackson, I believe, needs a new team. I do. I just think he needs a new team. He needs somebody who doesn't just look at him as a running quarterback. I just think he needs I think he just needs a new environment. I do. Yeah, Bass, I agree with you. Lamar's had better teams than Dak, and I think that's another reason why people are really down on him. Burrow's had better teams than Dak. Allen has definitely had better teams and coaching than Dak. But don't blame his team. Yeah, Hawk said it's a few quarterbacks that needs to go to a new team. Yeah, Hawk, I agree. And I'm telling you, man, I truly believe, Hawk, Lamar Jackson, send him to Kyle Shanahan, watch what happens. Send him to Kyle Shanahan. Shoot, Kyle Shanahan have everybody eating their words with Lamar Jackson. What you say, Roxy fan? Imagine if Turpin had an arm like Joe Milton. Boy, you got me rolling. Michael Postel said Michael Vick was awesome. Absolutely. He's incredible. Incredible. Miss Mason says because they all been to a conference championship. Okay. Yes, it's due in part to the supporting cast, but QPs, that's it. You're right. QPs get all the credit. And you know what, Miss Matrix? Too much credit when they win. Too much credit when they lose. Yep, I agree. Bad said, remember when it was said that Wentz, Daniel Jones were better than Dak? Boy, that's so funny now, ain't it? It's so funny when we think about that now. I never thought it when they said it, Bass. I'll be honest with you. I was sold on Dak Prescott. I thought they was crazy back then. Shoot, man, Michael Vick had a running back vision. Shoot, Michael Vick was next level, man. Man, it was incredible. Andy Reid will turn that man into a multiple Super Bowl winning quarterback. I guarantee you. All right, and this is another quick hit. I want to look at the Dak Prescott interception against Green Bay. Man, some guy over on X hating on Mark Holmes for liking Dak Prescott. And he over there talking reckless about our man, Mark Holmes. Sorry. Mark Holmes, OG in the game. You don't talk about Mark Holmes. Not like that, at least. Don't talk about this man like this. This is whack trash Scott. I mean, you can already tell he don't like Dak. I mean, what was the indicator? He didn't like Dak. Oh, wait a minute. His name is whack trash Scott, and his name is Dak is. Man, I'm tell you something. I don't understand how people can hate somebody so much that you turn this into your, see if I can bring this down. You turn that into your name on social media, whack trash Scott. Teach his own. Says here, Mark Holmes is a clown. He sees this BS and still defends Dak trash Scott. You see their immediate reaction to this doo-doo after the game. He's making excuses. Can't trust these clowns on YouTube. They just going to say what's going to get them paid and clicks and views. Really? I guess at this point, you can't trust anybody because everybody's saying almost that Dak Prescott's top 5. Yeah. Yeah, 70s Fans Show, I agree with you. You don't be hating on Mark. Now, let me tell you something about this interception right here. I talked about this interception the other day. I contest, and I could be totally wrong on this. I'm going to tell you I could be totally wrong. But I'm going to tell you where I am on this interception. I don't know if y'all remember this particular interception, but CeeDee Lamb was throwing an absolute fit. He was throwing a fit. CeeDee Lamb was mad at Dak Prescott and mad at Mike McCarthy because they were not throwing the ball to him. And any of us watching this game, we kind of knew what was going on. They were bracketing CeeDee Lamb. Mike McCarthy knew he was bracketed. Dak Prescott knew he was bracketed. But CeeDee Lamb kept you could see him in the huddles. They were talking about it. They were talking about it in the press conference. I mean, not the press conference, in the press box. They were talking about it on the television. CeeDee Lamb is mad. He's going crazy. He's doing this and he's doing that. This interception to me, I don't believe Dak Prescott threw this interception because he didn't see the field. Dak Prescott threw this interception to show CeeDee Lamb that you're covered, bruh, and you're actually not open. And you know how I know this? Everybody knows Dak Prescott isn't this dumb. Watch this. Watch this play.
Here, we've been throwing the ball a lot.
Now watch this. If you don't think Dak Prescott saw this, CeeDee Lamb is covered here, and this player is right here. You don't think that Dak Prescott knows that this is not open? Dak Prescott threw this to tell CeeDee Lamb to shut up. I don't know if y'all remember this game. CeeDee Lamb was losing his mind. Losing his mind. but they had CeeDee Lamb's number. You couldn't tell CeeDee Lamb. They were trying to tell CeeDee Lamb, okay, just be patient, be patient. CeeDee Lamb didn't want to be patient. So what did they do? This is not a read. This is somebody saying, no matter what, throw the ball to CeeDee Lamb. And that's what they did. Right here.
Oh, shit!
Wasn't open. He's not open. He was not open. CeeDee Lamb was not open, and Dak Prescott knew CeeDee Lamb wasn't open. Dak Prescott knew it. Absolutely. He knew he wasn't open. Dak knew he was not open right there.
Yo, G, bless him.
When I tell you that game was a travesty, this Green Bay game was a travesty. Dak did, I could be totally wrong on this. But CeeDee Lamb was insisting that the ball go to him. Dak knew he wasn't open. Dak knew he wasn't open. So what does Dak do? I'm going to show you not open. Dak threw this pass. Look at this in slow motion. Man, if you think Dak don't know that's not open, they were telling CeeDee, I guarantee you, when they were trying to calm CeeDee down, they were telling him, CeeDee, they got you over the top and underneath. They are keying on you. CeeDee Lamb wasn't hearing it. CeeDee Lamb wasn't hearing it. Dak knew he wasn't open. Dak knew this man wasn't open. Look at this. If we think Dak thought this man was open, Dak was throwing this ball, and I remember we were talking about this watching the game. Dak was throwing this ball to CeeDee Lamb regardless. Absolutely. He was throwing it to CeeDee Lamb regardless and he knew he was covered. Come on, man. Dak can see better than me. I could clearly see when Dak, even before he releases it, man, Lamb ain't open, man. Lamb ain't open. Look at this play again. Lamb isn't, he's not open. Lamb isn't open. If Dak was truly looking for who was open, Jake Ferguson. Jake Ferguson is the read. And maybe that is who? Maybe is that Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley, Jake Ferguson, those are the reads. This right here is not the read. It's not the read. And again, what did I tell y'all before? It was fool's gold. We were not beating the Green Bay Packers. You want to know why? The Green Bay Packers were rushing 4 and dropping 7. We were not beating them. Bottom line. We were not beating them. They knew we had nothing. They knew we had nothing. It was CeeDee Lamb and nothing else. If y'all think that Dak Prescott misread this, you're wrong. CeeDee Lamb wouldn't shut up. They could not calm this man down. You know how they calmed him down? This interception. That's what calmed him down. It's 27-0, CeeDee Lamb. Now, can you please be quiet? This was the only way they could shut him up. And it was the immaturity of, we're talking about a different Dak Prescott at the time. I mean, not a different Dak Prescott, even though it was. We're talking about a different CeeDee Lamb at the time. Very immature. Very immature at that time. It was his first year being the man. We had just let go of Amari Cooper. He had that breakout year, 1,700, almost 1,800 yards, got to the playoffs, wanted to be the man in the playoffs, but I'm sorry, bro. When you get to the playoffs and you're the strength, get ready. You're going to get neutralized. They neutralized him. They neutralized CeeDee Lamb. They bracketed him over the top. Look at this back right here, over the top and underneath. Same thing Detroit did to George Pickens this year. Wherever George Pickens was, they had two people. And they made sure that somebody jumped the underneath route and they kept somebody over the top. This is what they do when you start doing what they do. And CeeDee Lamb was killing everybody this year, that year in 2023. Brandon Cooks wasn't. Yeah, Cole Beasley wasn't. I think that's Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley wasn't. And a matter of fact, is that Ferg? It might not be Ferg. What was the other tight end that we had? I'm not even sure if that's... I think that is Ferg. But again, these reads are very clear. No, this from the outset of this play, they were going to CeeDee Lamb. I remember. It was a travesty. It was a travesty. Just couldn't shut CeeDee Lamb up that game. He was throwing tantrums on the sidelines. Well, I tell you what, that interception shut him up. Yeah. Because they pretty much thought the game was over after that. Yeah, they pretty much thought the game was over. And I'll tell you the truth. If you think about this game, right here, if you think about this game, if this defense would have tried to, if this defense would have had some guts about itself, I believe they could have came back and beat the Green Bay Packers. They gave up. They just gave up. Absolutely, they gave up. Yep. Cowboys gave up. It was a travesty. I can't figure out who that guy is over there. I don't think that's Cole. That ain't Cole Beasley, is it? I didn't even think Cole Beasley was there in 2023. Who is that? It just goes to show you what kind of wide receiver core we had. It was CeeDee Lamb or nothing else. It's the bottom line. All right, let's go back. I missed the section right here. Let's go back to this thing now with CD manipulation. Of course, now we're looking at a whole different CeeDee Lamb. That was CeeDee Lamb then. CeeDee Lamb wouldn't do that today. Matter of fact, he wouldn't do that today because now you got George Pickens, thank God. You got George Pickens. Now that we have George Pickens, you're just not going to see stuff like that now. Because now we're in a situation where somebody going to eat. Whether it be CeeDee Lamb, whether it be George Pickens. All right, let's look at this next section. I don't know if y'all saw this. This is George Pickens. Let me see here. I'm sorry, not George Pickens. This is CeeDee Lamb.
All right, folks.
I don't know who that... I'm struggling with who that was. Who was that guy? That didn't look like Michael Gallup. Was that Michael Gallup? Wow, he looks small on that screen. All right, this section right here. This is a segment of where Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, and CeeDee Lamb are talking about how they manipulate defensive backs.
Yes! Here we go. Okay, this is very exciting, gentlemen. Let's get into some questions here. So here's the deal. The average NFL team has 8 to 10 defensive coaches who spend all week sleeping on their couches in their offices.
My mic working?
Your mic's working. Yeah, you can hear him, right?
I mean, obviously.
All right. Note to self: cover 4, bitches. All right. So CeeDee, how about you? When you see that they're preparing for you, what do you do?
I mean, obviously, my mic working?
Your mic's working. Yeah, you can hear him, right?
All right, bet. It's cool. Just week in and week out, I just know, like, I know what I want to do as far as every game go.
Andrew, right on time for the CeeDee Lamb segment, huh? Right on time. Best looking wide receiver in the game, CeeDee Lamb.
Crazy, you know, just keep the eyes on me and open opportunities for others, right? But I just know one thing for sure, they better account for me or else. And like Tyreek says, we rarely see one-on-one coverages and man-to-man, so like it's just differentiate and preparation. I feel like that takes a lot, you know, all week going into it just for, you know, we get to a Sunday night, Sunday, whatever, and go crazy. So they better keep losing sleep. Don't.
Better keep losing sleep. I like that. Yeah. Now, Devontae, you've been in the game a little bit longer. Let me ask you this: is there anything that a defense can cook up that they can develop? Is there stuff that you feel you haven't seen?
I'm actually looking through this, and I think that's the only statement that CeeDee Lamb actually makes in the whole thing. I really think that's the only thing that he says in the whole interview. I'm looking at, let's see, wait, this might be, let me see if this is another section here.
Cover 0, he's in bitches, he's in cover 2. Right. Okay. Right. Every time you guys step on the field, you're going up against the other team's best corner. And 9 out of 10 times, those guys are getting help, right? They're trying to bracket you or the safety comes over or something like that. Tyreek, we would love to know how do you manipulate a defense?
Yeah, that was the only thing CeeDee Lamb said. I thought it's an 8-minute interview. I thought it was longer than that. All right. Thought the interview was longer than that one. But that's CeeDee Lamb. Okay. It's a longer interview, but this is the section that they carved out. I'm gonna go back and look at the entire interview, and I'm gonna carve out the I'll carve out the CeeDee Lamb sections for us tomorrow. I'll carve those out for you. Oh man, Hawk, don't say it, Hawk. Hawk 1970. Hawk said, man, CD is overrated and overpaid. You said drops balls at the crucial times of the games. He's a slot receiver. Wow. Okay. All right, Hawk, you're entitled to your opinion on that. Hawk, I think if you go back and look, though, I don't think he has a problem dropping balls in big games. For some reason, he has problems dropping balls against the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know what that's about. We went back last year and looked at all the drop balls. They were the Philadelphia Eagles. I have no clue what that's about, but it was the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, let's hit our last two sections. These will be quick hits. And the next section is going to be Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark talking about the Cowboys. Ryan Clark talking about the Cowboys.
Yes! Here we go!
Ryan Clark has actually been big on the Cowboys for a minute. And this is Ryan Clark talking about the Dallas Cowboys' chances at winning the Super Bowl. Y'all ready for this? Ryan Clark.
Okay, RC, you heard the question. Are the Super Bowl expectations realistic for the Cowboys this year?
You know what? They are realistic this year. You go get Christian Parker.
Shout out to Ryan Clark. Shout out to Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark said, absolutely realistic. Yeah.
From the Philadelphia Eagles. He understands how to keep the
See, man, come on, man. See, Matt D said you talking about Ryan Clark. Man, come on, see, Matt.
Top on the defense, not give up the big play. and you're expecting someone like DeMarvion Overshown to be exactly what we saw him ascending to be before the injury. We watched him play a little bit last year. I expect him to be fully healthy and be an X factor in what they want to do. It's also going to be about how you acclimate Caleb Downs. You pick him in the top 12 of the NFL draft. Many people thought he would go earlier. He's an absolute savant when it comes to defensive football. How do you implement him? How do you use him? Is he going to be the nickel? Is he going to be the down safety? Will you keep him in the middle of the field? Can we see him one-on-one with tight ends? That's going to be very important to this defense because let's not get it twisted. If this offense is the same thing, they just have to be all right this year. And so if we could see George Pickens in camp, CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, and Shoddy get those guys going, this could be a team that we're actually talking about at the end of the season, not just the beginning.
Okay, RC.
Yeah. There it is. Man, I'm telling y'all Cowboys fans, people are not talking about the Cowboys just to be talking about the Cowboys. They're talking about the Cowboys because of what the Cowboys have done. And speaking of Ryan Clark, and somebody called him Lion Clark, that's the first time I've ever... That's the first time I heard somebody call Ryan Clark Lion Clark. First time I heard somebody call him that. But, unfortunately, since people are already letting the cat out of the bag, Ryan Clark has been let go by the Dallas Cowboys. He's been let go by ESPN. Yeah. Ryan Clark was let go while he was reporting on the NFL. Ryan Clark was let go. Don't really know what the entire story is. Somebody called him Lion Clark. And I'm going to tell you this. I think they got some issues going on over there at ESPN. Y'all might not realize this. ESPN is actually not popular anymore. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm Captain Obvious right now. But ESPN is not popular anymore. People are not tuning in to ESPN the way that they used to. They're not tuning into it no more. And so because people are not tuning into ESPN, they're only paying the guys who they really think that can draw some numbers and things of that nature. We've already seen now where, what they're getting ready to do. They are getting ready to, if I'm not mistaken, they've already done it. They gave Adam Schefter a huge pay raise. Well, I'm pretty sure, just like football teams, there's a salary cap in some form or fashion. You can't pay everybody on these television networks. Because just like football, the money is coming from advertisements. And now, Ryan Clark, and y'all remember when Ryan Clark got his last deal, Ryan Clark was talking about how much he's worth and this and that and the other. Well, guess what? Not this time, bruh. Not this time. Ryan Clark is out of here. ESPN cuts ties with Ryan Clark. Somebody said, Pokey Cowboys Celtics said because he said something nice about the Cowboys. Let me tell you something about Ryan. You know, one thing that Ryan Clark does that I like Ryan Clark, but one of the things that I don't like about Ryan Clark is that Ryan Clark gets caught up a lot in politics, gets caught up in a lot of the racial politics. And there'll be times that it don't even have anything to do with race. And here comes Ryan Clark. And people got to be careful, man, when you work for organizations and they'll use you to do all this stuff. But once they've used you up to do all that dirty work, you're going to find out. They don't care nothing about you. And I think Ryan Clark is probably one of them when he's just talking about sports. Ryan Clark is probably one of their better analysts. And now he gone. It says in a surprising move that seemingly out of nowhere, ESPN reportedly has cut ties with NFL analyst Ryan Clark. The news comes courtesy of Andrew Marchand of The Athletic. Clark, who began appearing on ESPN while still playing in the NFL, became a full-time ESPN personality following his retirement from football after the 2014 season. He has signed his contract in February 2024. As Marchand explains it, Clark was expected to be a large part of ESPN Super Bowl 61 coverage. ESPN is televising the game if you haven't heard it 1,000 times. Instead, Clark is among the first wave of ESPN layoffs that are expected to happen later this year. Yeah. The move comes at a time when ESPN has been extending plenty of on-air contracts for both ESPN and NFL Network employees, and at a time when ESPN is reportedly preparing to bump former player Pat McAfee's compensation north of $60 million. There it is. There it is. You can't pay, just like you can't pay all them players. Can't pay all them on-air personalities. Bottom line. Yeah, I think he was on air when the news broke. Yeah. I think he was on there when the news broke. So he done. Yep. He absolutely done. But I think Ryan Clark is going to be okay. Excuse me. And the reason why I believe Ryan Clark is going to be okay, he has the pivot. And if I was Ryan Clark has a really good following. I think people will watch Ryan Clark more than they'll watch Speak Easy. Don't y'all? I think people will watch Ryan Clark more than they'll watch Speak Easy. I definitely think people will watch Ryan Clark. And I really think in this day and age, if it was me, you would do better building up your own following. See, the reason why Pat McAfee is so valuable to ESPN, Gerald Jackson, I think you make a very good point. You said Pat McAfee doesn't do it for you. And I'll be honest with you, Gerald Jackson, I don't watch Pat McAfee. I don't watch Pat McAfee. But you got to realize Pat McAfee, the reason why ESPN signed him is that Pat McAfee brought a humongous audience with him. See, Pat McAfee has built his own audience. And this is what I believe, some of these TV personalities. See, Stephen A. Smith saw what Pat McAfee did. So now Stephen A. Smith is trying to build up his brand. Problem with Stephen A. Smith, I think he's a little too involved in politics. Also, I think it becomes hard to build up a brand when you are ticking off some people. And so I just believe, especially when you got these guys, you already got a name, Ryan Clark. You played in the NFL. Now, you've been on ESPN. Why go work for another network? Work full-time on the pivot. Build your own brand. Just build your own brand. And build your own brand so big that the next time people come to you, you in the catbird seat. Yeah. You're in the catbird seat. I truly believe a lot of us content creators, you're going to see more and more content creators start getting calls from some of these networks. We'll see when will ESPN call some content creators. But some of us are getting a following that eventually you got to take notice to. And when someone brings a built-in audience, you don't have to do anything to build up the audience of your show because that person has already built up the following. And you don't even have to do as much when you get somebody like that. And that's why Pat McAfee, people don't realize something about Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee had been building that brand for years, doing things with WWE, building his brand on YouTube. He's just been building a brand. And so when they came to Pat McAfee really didn't need ESPN. ESPN needed Pat McAfee. Yeah. They needed Pat McAfee. And you think about Shannon Sharpe. Before Shannon Sharpe got the big head, before Shannon Sharpe, and I'm telling you, when Shannon Sharpe first went to First Take with Skip Bayless, I still say Shannon Sharpe's biggest problem, he started doing some of the same stuff that Ryan Clark does. And I believe this is Disney saying, I don't want none of this stuff Ryan Clark does anymore. If you are in the money-making business, you got to make your mind up. Are you in the money-making business? Or are you in the political business? Because if you are in the political business and you're going to start doing all those political takes, and if you're going to start just saying this about this and giving your opinion on every single thing, well, there are people who won't agree with you on those certain things. They'll argue with you. They'll listen to you disagree with them on sports. But what they won't listen to you disagree with them on is certain things when it comes to political things and racial things and all of those type of things. If you're going to do those things, you need to keep your own platform. Keep your own platform. But when you get on somebody else's platform, the same way they get your built-in audience, you also run their audience away and your own audience away when you start doing some of those things. And people just say, nah, we don't want food that man.
You can't handle the truth.
Bottom line, Shannon Sharpe. Before Shannon Sharpe got all political and stuff, when Shannon Sharpe was just being, man, let me tell you, when Shannon Sharpe first hit First Take, Shannon Sharpe blew my mind. I was like, man, Shannon Sharpe is so knowledgeable when it comes to sports. Shannon Sharpe was killing it. When Shannon Sharpe started talking more of that political stuff, racial stuff, and started trying to fight Skip Bayless without facts, and started trying to fight Skip Bayless with emotions and feelings, you fight Skip Bayless with facts. You don't fight Skip Bayless with emotions and feelings, because if you put your feelings on the table for Skip Bayless, you might as well get ready, because he's going to have you crying. You got to fight Skip Bayless with facts. Facts on top of facts. When Shannon Sharpe started getting so big-headed, left First Take, went to ESPN, where is he now? Where is he now? Where is he now? Let me tell you something, man. You start trying to do all that old talking like Shannon Sharpe was doing, you better make sure your boo-boo don't stink. That's all I'm telling you. Shoot. Better make sure you spray before you leave the bathroom. Wash your hands. Because when you start getting and doing stuff like Shannon Sharpe, man, people be coming for you. And Shannon Sharpe, of course, you know, he was his own downfall too with all the stuff that he was doing. I mean, I can't even go in them places, but again, when controversy starts circling you or you have controversial takes, they're done with you. They're done with you. That's why you better be building, man, you better focus on building your platform. And this is why Shannon Sharpe is okay. Because Shannon Sharpe built one of the best podcasts you'll see out there. I mean, a lot of people like Nightcap. But I'm going to tell you, Nightcap isn't what built Shannon Sharpe. Nightcap is a spinoff of the Club Shay Shay thing that he does, or whatever it is he does when he interviews people. Not to mention, Cat Williams really put him on the map. But again, some of the things he let Cat Williams say on that show, yeah, that's why they came after him too. Yeah, Cat Williams on there spilling the beans on everything. So when you start doing stuff like that, bro, they coming for you. They coming for you. Now, Ryan Clark, again, no controversy as far as those things. But, man, Ryan Clark would hit you with a race bomb. Ryan Clark would hit you with some racial just out of the blue, and you'd be like, was that really racist? Well, if you let Ryan Clark tell it, I'm telling you, man, in a time where clicks and likes and followings are important, you can't do what you want to do on someone else's platform. You got to build your own. And if you're going to do that stuff on your own platform, do it. And that's why I say for Ryan Clark, man, if I could talk to him, I just tell him, Ryan Clark, bro, you don't need to focus on going anywhere. You need to just do your own thing, bro. Be your own boss. Just do your own thing. So even when they come to you, you still your own boss. They need you. You don't need them. Real Estate Vet said, only difference. Shannon Sharp knew he was returning, knew he wasn't returning. These guys are getting fired on the spot. They didn't have their podcast following up. Yeah. Now, and again, Ryan Clark, Real Estate Vet, appreciate that super chat. I think Ryan Clark is going to be okay. Ryan Clark does the pivot, if I'm not mistaken, right? Ryan Clark does the pivot. And I think the pivot has a pretty big following. Yeah, I think he had a pretty big following on there. If I'm Ryan Clark, don't even sweat it. Ryan Clark just need to focus on the pivot. Yeah, Ryan Clark and the guys that he works with, they currently at this point in time, they have 1.41 million subscribers. If I'm Ryan Clark, focus on the pivot, bro. Focus on the pivot. Focus on the pivot, man. Bottom line. Yeah, Hanover, you're right. ESPN ain't even sports network anymore. It's sports entertainment. And what brought that in? Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith. The popularity of cold pizza and what Skip Bayless started doing when he came on there, and how Skip Bayless really made that popular, and then it got its own show, and then he brought in Stephen A. Smith, and they kind of took that to a whole, it changed the way people look at sports shows. It really did. I mean, you think about when Shannon Sharp first came on First Take, not First Take, what was it called? It wasn't First Take. What was the show he did with Skip Bayless? Undisputed. When he started doing Undisputed with Skip Bayless, again, Shannon Sharp was incredible when he was talking sports only. When Shannon Sharp started stepping outside of sports, that's when it started getting, you could already tell it started to crack when he got outside of sports. Poobie D, you said he don't make it racial unless it calls for it. I think he's done, Poobie D, I think he's done it quite a few times when it didn't call for it. I think he's done it, bro, when it hadn't called for it, man. I really do. Man, Ryan Clark has done that when he hadn't called for it. And again, Poobie D, let me interject this. Ryan Clark, Poobie D, let me interject this. Well, you can say what you want to say when it's your platform. Problem is you can't keep doing that on other people's platform. You just can't keep doing it. Because at the end of the day, they are in it. At the end of the day, they're in it to make money. Poobie D, you make another great point. Stephen A. do it, and he's still there. Let me tell you something. I think they were really thinking about Stephen A. Smith. And I don't think Stephen A. will get... You know what, Poobie D? Stephen A. has been on so long, he's kind of like the face of ESPN. I'm going to tell you something, Poobie D. I would not be surprised if Stephen A. Smith don't get another contract either. I will not be surprised. Man, I'm telling you, man, that stuff is growing so old. That stuff is growing old with a lot of people. When people tune into a sports show, they want you to talk about sports. Stephen A. Smith, let me tell you something. When Stephen A. Smith when he kind of started doing that, Stephen A. Smith was kind of like Shannon Sharpe. He talked a lot about sports. I mean, he gave you a lot of stats, and you could tell when Stephen A. Smith used to talk about sports, especially basketball. You could tell when Stephen A. Smith would talk about basketball, you'd be like, yeah, man, Stephen A. watched the game. He really loves basketball, blah, blah, blah. Man, now when I hear Stephen A. Smith talk, man, I don't get nothing when I hear Stephen A. Smith talk no more. I don't hear nothing. I can't get past all the gargly goop stuff. You know, all of the theatrics and all of the man, people gonna start cutting the fat because, again, they're noticing something. People who want to watch real sports shows, guess where they're going? YouTube. They're going to YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, Poopa D, I ain't gonna argue with you on that one. Skimp with low that Tom Brady comment. But again, Poopa D, Shannon Sharpe, rather than get in his feelings, he should have kept fighting Skip Bayless with facts. Because that's what I would have did. I would have kept fighting him with facts. Yeah, I would have kept, because you can't fight Skip Bayless with your emotions and feelings. You can't. Not on TV anyway. You can't do it. You got to fight that man with facts. That's how you fight that man. You fight him with facts. And anybody who's actually beat him, that's how you beat him. But again, Ryan Clark is no longer on ESPN. But I tell you what, I liked his last take. The last take I just heard, I love it. I love it. Hey, you know what's funny? Bernard Fields, Skip Bayless has weathered the storm. And Skip Bayless is having a little bit of a comeback. Yeah. That's why they got him on ESPN again. Man, Skip Bayless has made a comeback. Crazy work. I didn't think Skip Bayless was going to make a comeback, but he has. Bazzy9, I agree with you. Sports, it is escape for me and a lot of others. We don't want to listen to politics and racial crap. This world is crazy enough. We want to hear sports talk. Yep. I agree. Bass, Shannon didn't snatch him out that seat. Man, let me tell you something, Bass. When Skip Bayless told Shannon Sharpe to put his glasses back on, I do not know how that man kept his composure. Boy, he told me to put my glasses back on, bruh. Well, number one, I wouldn't have took them off. Because I would have just kept matching wits. Because I'm telling you, man, to me, that's where Shannon Sharpe made his mistake. He stopped being less about sports facts. And he started being more about the theatrics. That's why when you look at his nightcap show is more of what he wanted to be. See, on Nightcap, it's not really about stats and all of those things. It's not that he don't give some. But on his show, you know, he can basically talk about what he wants to. And he can mix in stories, same way I do. He can mix in stories and things of that nature. And so he can do some things. But, yeah, Gerald Jackson says Shannon is too emotional. Logic and patience is the main way to go. Yeah. Poopa D said politics is in everything. Some people see things different. Yeah, Poopa D, and again, that's why I say I don't do a lot of the politics stuff. I don't do a lot of that stuff. I just stay away from that. We got too many folks. are tired of politics. They really are. Some people just want to listen to sports and have fun. Bottom line. All right, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with me tonight. I'm headed out to my garage to clean out my garage. I got a long way to go. Long way to go. But again, I see y'all tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Until the next time, DC4L, God bless. Best chat on YouTube. Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Peace.